Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto uses silent killing Chunin exams part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. It was quite a lively night in the village hidden in leaves, and rightly so, with the annual festival in full swing. The village was celebrating the defeat of the nine-tailed demon fox that had attacked the village just 8 years ago. However, while the children believed that the demon had been killed, the teenagers and adults knew otherwise. This brings us to a dark alley halfway across town where a little kid with bright blonde hair is writhing in pain on the cold ground. Around him are 4 laughing teenagers that seem to draw great pleasure out of inflicting pain on the child. "Serves you right, demon," one of them commented, and kicked the little boy in the ribs again. The boy yelps in pain and crawls closer to the wall, hoping to at least shield some of his body from blows. "I think it's trying to run away." "As if we'll let it," was the snickering reply. The onslaught of kicks continued until a particularly loud crack was heard, and the teenagers realized that they had kicked the blonde boy's head against the wall hard enough for blood to spill out. "With the way blood's pooling, I think we killed it." "Great. Now we can go enjoy the festivities for real." The 4 teens left after that, and soon after a person dislodged himself from shadows of a far wall. He pulled out a small scroll, unraveled it, and channeled his chakra into it. A thin blue line of chakra stretched out from the scroll and linked with the blonde boy's stomach. Flashback. "You're sure this will work?" asked a man with long silvery hair. The other man sighed. They had been through this already. "Yes, I'm sure. The jutsu sealed into that scroll will dislodge the seal just enough to allow for contact and ability absorption." The long-haired man didn't let up. "How can you be so sure that the jutsu will find its target? If it misses, we won't have another chance like this for at least a couple months." "That part's easy, you're the one doing the jutsu," replied the spiky-haired man. "And exactly how much are you dislodging the seal by?" "Same amount as with the other one," was the simple, uncaring reply. "What? That is entirely too much. Especially since this is an unsupervised event. If something happens, if something goes wrong, we will be completely out of options." The spiky-haired man looked up in confusion. "Why are you getting so worked up? The other survived it no problem. Not only that, but I had to dislodge it further because it wasn't enough. This is the QB we're talking about. A half-assed, half-done, and overly cautious dislodging is out of the question. You really want to go back and do a secondary dislodging? Not to mention the fact that the second time around the QB will be watching. We, or rather I, don't want to be revealed 4 years too early." Flashback end. "I hope he's right," though the silver-haired man. "It found its target quite easily, and I can sense the QB's chakra much more clearly." The man waited for a couple minutes after the jutsu had taken effect to make sure the blonde's broken skull had healed before vanishing. 4 years later. Naruto sat on the swing outside the ninja academy, seeming heartbroken to the outside world, but actually he was in the deep recesses of his mind. "Hey Q, why couldn't I just make the clones? Why did you have me do it wrong?" asked Naruto, disappointed that he had to play this part again. "Because of that other teacher, Mizuki, I believe his name is." "Yes, I noticed the glare too," said Naruto calmly, "but it was just like any other." "No, I believe he will be of much use to us," stated the QB. "He does seem like a selfish one," said Naruto. "And that is going to be his downfall," concluded the QB. Naruto felt the familiar tugging feeling that accompanied urgent situations in the real world. He snapped out of his trance and saw Mizuki approach him. After quick exchange, he followed the Chunin to a place where they could talk. Naruto knew Mizuki's purpose wasn't anything kind, but he just played along for curiosity. Soon Mizuki offered him a special second chance for passing the Genin exam, to learn a special jutsu that was in a certain scroll in the Hokage's personal scroll room. Naruto, always being up for learning new jutsus, accepted the offer and went off to the Hokage's house. "Hey Q, what do you think of this whole scroll business?" asked Naruto inside his head. "If this scroll is what I think it is, then we may have just hit jackpot," responded the QB. Naruto managed to get inside, surprised that he encountered minimal resistance. Even then, the guard that was guarding the entrance didn't see Naruto's shadow as he ran up the wall. A part of Naruto felt as though this was a trap. Why else would they have let me in so easily? He pondered as he cautiously made his way through the building, hoping not to meet up with the Hokage. But it seemed that his luck had run out when he heard a stern voice behind him asking what he was doing here. Naruto knew that he no match for the Hokage in combat, so he decided to improvise and cheat a little. "Sexy no jutsu," he yelled and transformed into a completely naked, well-rounded blonde girl. The Hokage was down on the ground with blood gushing out of his nose faster than Irika. Naruto raised his eyebrows. Are all adults perverts or something? The blonde left the sandane to bleed profusely from his nose, while he quickly made his way to the scroll room to find the right scroll. After finding it, Naruto went over to the window and opened it. After making sure that the scroll was tightly strapped to his back, he jumped out and ran towards the forest as a solitary figure watched from behind a nearby building. He better have gotten the right scroll, thought Mizuki. I didn't put up all those high-level, not to mention chakra-exhausting, genjutsus around the Hokage's house for that idiot to grab the wrong scroll. Immediately after arriving in the designated area, Naruto opened up the scroll and began reading. Kagebushin no Jutsu, he said. This is it, said a very happy Kyuubi, chuckling darkly. What? Asked the bewildered Naruto. This is the forbidden scroll of seals, the Kyuubi chuckled evilly. Meaning all the techniques in here are forbidden, concluded Naruto. Precisely, and it must also be in here, said the Kyuubi. Naruto knew that he probably would never get another chance like this again, so he quickly learned the first technique as a cover. He then quickly flipped through the entire scroll looking for one particular jutsu. He stopped as soon as he saw the familiar design. So this is how it works, mused Naruto. It is placed over my navel, so that our chakras integrate better, and because the seal is so close to the chakra system I can communicate with the Kyuubi through meditation, thought Naruto while scrutinizing the scroll. Or through near-death experiences, he smiled bitterly, whichever comes first. Kit, leave this for later, you got company, warned the Kyuubi. Naruto instantly heightened his senses to notice a familiar Chunin making his way towards him. He rolled up the scroll and waited patiently for the arrival, and within a minute Irika leapt down from a nearby tree and questioned Naruto as to what he was doing. Naruto calmly explained to Irika that Mizuki told him about the scroll in this place. At the same time he felt Mizuki's presence in a nearby tree. So he has finally come, thought Naruto, also wondering what Irika would do. Irika then sensed the projectiles coming at him and pushed Naruto out of the way. Naruto was faking absolute confusion while watching the exchange between Irika and Mizuki, that is, until Mizuki started talking about the Kyuubi. Shit! How am I supposed to react to this? Panicked Naruto. Relax, Kit, just react the same way you did when you first found out, advised the Kyuubi. Naruto mentally thanked the Kyuubi and painted absolute fear onto his face. He was so engrossed in his acting he didn't realize a large shuriken was flying straight at him. He scrambled to get out of its way, but quickly realized it was too late. He shut his eyes waiting for the pain, but it never came. Slowly he opened his eyes to see Irika over him, protecting him from the large shuriken. Naruto was truly shocked. Why did he protect me? Wondered Naruto, this is illogical, he should hate me, along with the rest of the cows. Naruto had long ago started referring to the villages as cows, meaning that they were all part of a big herd, stubborn and stupid. He clearly heard Irika's words, he cares? The Kyuubi then decided to intervene in this mushy thought process. No, Kit, he doesn't care. His job is to get that scroll back, and while he might not hate you as much, who do you think he blames for the death of his parents? Naruto's face hardened. He knew this was the truth and decided to get the hell out of there. So he ran, trying to get away from both Irika and Mizuki, only to find himself behind a tree listening in on their conversation about him. Naruto was shocked once more. What's this? Irika is acknowledging me? Wondered Naruto. He knows you're here. Do you really think that he would say the same thing if they were alone? The Kyuubi once again countered Naruto's argument. Naruto looked over at the pair of Chunin once more and decided to end this whole charade. Mizuki's charge was his cue. He jumped out and kicked the Chunin, throwing him back and making him lose his large shuriken in the process. Mizuki got up and said some shit about Naruto being a lousy ninja and whatnot, so Naruto decided to try out his new move. He positioned his hands into that cross-like seal and yelled Kagebushin no Jutsu, using up quite a bit of chakra to make 1,000 clones appear. Naruto grinned evilly at Mizuki's terrified expression and allowed his clones to attack, making sure to contain his killer intent since there was someone watching all of this. He was finally satisfied when Mizuki lay on the ground half dead. Naruto released his clones and went over to Irika and in several minutes was informed, through a special ceremony, that he had passed the genin exam and was now officially a genin. He jumped for joy and requested Irika to treat him to ramen. Well, that went fairly well. But I can't have the boy thinking that those pesky humans care about him. After all, that path will only end in heartbreak for my poor Kit, mused the Kyuubi, knowing that Naruto could not hear. While they were eating, Irika filled him in on all the information he had given out to the other new genin. Naruto wanted to vomit when he heard all the shit about protecting your home village, either that or wring Irika's neck for feeding him this bullshit. As if I would want to protect this fucking village, thought Naruto, all the while keeping his hands from shaking in frustration. A little while later they parted, Naruto going home and Iruka going to take care of some paperwork to truly make Naruto a genin. Arriving home, the blonde took a quick shower and fell on his bed, completely tired. He looked at the tattoo on his right arm and was instantly reminded of that one fateful night. Flashback. Naruto watched through blurred vision as the 4 teenagers walked away thinking, why me? Why is it always me and only me? As he embraced the enclosing darkness, a final thought plagued his mind. What have I done to deserve such punishment? Why do I not remember doing this? Naruto was surprised to wake up in a dark hallway. He was even more surprised that he was lying in a puddle of water, but his clothes weren't wet. He slowly got up and found that all his injuries were all gone. What is going on here? He wondered. Suddenly he heard faint laughter coming from somewhere in the darkness in front of him. Curiosity overwhelming him, Naruto made his way toward the laughter and had soon made it into a large open room with humongous barred gates on the opposite side. Am I in some sort of prison? He wondered out loud. No, you're on the right side of the bars, kid, bellowed a voice from within the bars. Naruto looked in awe and fear as giant red eyes opened up and looked straight at Naruto. Who are you? Asked Naruto nervously. The red eyes narrowed a little and a row of very sharp teeth and fangs became exposed as the giant creature laughed. Little human, I am Kyuubi no Kitsune. Naruto's eyes nearly fell out of their sockets in fear and shock. Why you are the Kyuubi continued laughing. Naruto was starting to get frustrated as the demon fox kept laughing at him. Hey, god damn it! Mind telling me what's so funny, and where the hell we are? Yelled Naruto. The Kyuubi reduced its laughter to a grin with its fangs still bared. What's funny is that we are inside your mind, replied Kyuubi, answering both questions. In my mind, but then that means that you are trapped inside of me, reasoned Naruto. Hey, you're not as stupid as you seem. Shut up! Yelled Naruto. So this is why the villagers call me a monster. That's right, kid, you're their new monster to blame shit on. But it's not my fault, it's not like I asked you to be trapped inside of me. Humans are fucking idiots like that. However, forget all that for now, your body is dying in case you don't know. Naruto suddenly remembered what had just happened to him, dying, but I don't want to die, he said in a shaky voice. The Kyuubi smirked, of course not, but such things are inevitable for humans, it emphasized the last word. Naruto stared up at the fox curiously for a moment. You can't die, can you? He asked in awe. That's right, kid, now I could heal you too, but not without a deal. What kind of deal? Oh, it's very simple, the demon fox grinned. I'll heal you and guide you in life so that you can become strong, and in return all you have to do is what I tell you to. That's it? I just have to listen to you and follow your directions? Asked Naruto in an already happy tone. Kind of seems like a small price to pay. Yup, that's it. Now, do we have a deal? Naruto thought for a moment. After all, this was a demon that he was talking to. You won't ask me to massacre everyone in the village, would you? Would that really be so bad? Countered the fox in an amused voice. Well, it's just that all my friends would be gone. Then the blonde trailed off at the end as he realized just how long, or rather short, his list of friends was. What friends, kid? Growled Kyuubi. Face it. You have no one. Except me, no one cares about you. This whole village would celebrate if you died. Naruto looked at the floor. Well, there's that old man. The Hokage? Kyuubi scoffed. If that geezer actually cared for you, don't you think he would have taken you in? And given you more than crap hole to live in and barely enough money to survive on? Naruto couldn't find a response to that logic. If you're wondering why he comes to talk to you, I can explain that. He's just doing it to check and see if you're a danger to the village. That is why you cannot tell anyone that we have met. Naruto looked up at Kyuubi in confusion. If you do, then the geezer will think, just like all the others, that you have turned against the village, and then, the fox paused for effect, he'll truly have you killed. Okay, Naruto said after a little silence, I agree to the deal. The Kyuubi chuckled darkly. Good, but remember, unlike humans, demons always keep their word. Naruto nodded. I won't back out. The Kyuubi then sent a stream of red chakra right at Naruto. That should be enough to heal you. Naruto woke up to find himself back in the alley, only this time the walls seemed to be lit up in red. It took Naruto a little moment to realize that it was in fact the red chakra swirling around him. He looked down at his battered body and noticed that his biggest wounds were closing in several. He could also hear and feel his broken bones popping back into place and growing together effortlessly. In several minutes he was back being completely healthy. "Now kid, get out of this place before the ninja come," ordered the Kyuubi. Naruto looked around for the fox, until he realized that the voice was inside his head. "Is it bad that the ninja come? After all, I could tell them to arrest those mean people?" "First of all, you can just think and I'll hear you," sighed the fox. "And second, the ninja are much better trained to kill you." Naruto gulped and quickly jumped out of the trash can and made his way home. Once back at home, he instantly discarded his smelly clothes and went to take a shower. In the shower, he suddenly noticed some sort of black marking on his right elbow. It started as a dot, 1 inch in diameter, in the middle of the inside of his elbow and then spiraled twice around his arm to end in the bushy end of a tail, about halfway up his biceps. He tried to wash it off, but it just wouldn't go. "Kid, that's a tattoo that I gave you, it cannot be washed off." "A tattoo? Why did you give it to me?" inquired Naruto. "It symbolizes how much you have mastered," calmly replied the fox. "The first black one indicates that you have made a pact with an elite demonic entity, and have survived having its chakra poured into you." Naruto looked at the tattoo in wonder. "So you mean that there will be more?" "Yes, others will be awarded for certain accomplishments." "For a total of 9, am I right?" asked Naruto. "Yes, though it really depends on the entity that your pact is made with, but more about that later." Naruto was so lost in his thought about everything that had transpired that he completely forgot that he was only allowed a limited quantity of water per day, and that he had used up all of it. He swore quite loudly and with words that not even most teenagers knew. End flashback. There were now 3 tails on Naruto's arm, separate yet entwined in some places. They all started in the same 1 inch, in diameter, circle and ended the same as a tail would. The 2 new ones were gray and brown in color. The brown one started at Naruto's shoulder bone and spiraled downwards to end in the middle of Naruto's triceps. The gray one started out halfway between the endings of the black and brown ones and just went around the arm connecting the black and brown. The Kyuubi had said that the brown one wasn't complete yet, and would grow to be a double tail, extending in the other direction. It symbolized Naruto's connection to the earth. Since Kyuubi had been given control over Doton and Suiton, those would be passed on to Naruto in time. The gray one was simply a chakra connection, so that Naruto could use demonic chakra when doing Doton jutsus. As the Kyuubi explained it, the initial black one controls all the chakra that Naruto can use, safely that is. Naruto can of course pull the Kyuubi's chakra through the seal, but that ultimately tears apart his chakra pathways. The Yondaime was an idiot to put such faith into a completely experimental seal. On that note, Naruto realized he hadn't asked the Kyuubi about what they saw in the Forbidden Scroll. "It's hopeless," replied the fox. "The seal is held in place by the Shinigami. He would have to release his hold on it before we could even try and figure out some way to break it." Naruto sighed. Perhaps the Yondaime wasn't such a fool. After all, the main object of the seal was to keep the Kyuubi imprisoned. The blonde genin shook his head to clear his mind and rolled over to face away from the window. He was asleep within a minute. The sun was shining and the birds were chirping as Naruto lazily rolled around in his bed, knowing that he had to get up, but not wanting to. Stupid picture day, he thought for the millionth time, and they had to schedule it so that it's smack in the middle of my day, Naruto thought. I can't get up early, train and then go there because questions would arise, so I have to sleep in. Arg. Naruto jumped out of bed. Well, time to get up. Naruto washed up, brushed his teeth and ate some instant ramen for breakfast. He then went over to the closet and frowned at the 2 orange jumpsuits hanging in there. What kind of ninja wears orange? He mumbled while shivering at the sight. Oh yes, I remember, the kind that wants to be seen as an idiot and appear to be desperate for attention. Naruto couldn't bring himself to buy a completely orange jumpsuit. He instead got one that had the shoulders and arms in black, while the rest was orange. Okay, while I tolerated that when you were in the academy, I can't stand to see you wearing such shit, the Kyuubi growled. The blonde was reluctant, if only because he would have to interact with stupid people to explain why he changed his clothes, but finally decided that he would wear black and red outfit he once stole. It was simply black cargo pants, black long-sleeved shirt, and a blood-red vest with lots of pockets. Picture day, he mumbled. How stupid, maybe I just won't show up, see what they do. Of course Naruto knew what they would do, namely threaten him with not being able to become a genin and finally pester him until he does get his picture taken, thus cutting into his time, and potentially finding out about the training he does. So I'll just go in there, get the picture taken and go train afterwards. He frowned when he realized that he had an appointment with the Hokage right afterwards. What does that geezer need this time? Checking up on my crappy lifestyle, which he knows about anyway, scoffed Naruto. Though this time he might want to talk about the incident with the scroll. Well, he knows I learned Kage Bunshin. That's fine, Just as long as he doesn't start to suspect anything about me and Kyubi, then it's alright. A few hours later, after getting his picture taken, Naruto was sitting in a chair in front of the Hokage. The old man was looking over what seemed to be Naruto's files. "I'm happy that you are starting to take your shinobi career more seriously," said the Hokage, smiling slightly in reference to the new outfit Naruto was wearing. "Yeah, fuck you too," Naruto mentally snapped. "Well, decided to get this for myself as a graduation present," the blonde actually replied in an amiable tone. The Hokage nodded, obviously thinking something along the lines of Naruto growing up and out of his childish self. "Naruto, we need to talk about that technique you learned," he said seriously. "The Kagebunshin no Jutsu is considered a forbidden jutsu, so I don't want you teaching it to any of the other genin. Is that clear?" "What?" yelled Naruto. "I can't even teach my future teammates?" The Hokage raised an eyebrow and Naruto mentally swore. He wasn't supposed to know that the genin were split up into team. "So I take it Irika told you that you would be put into a team with 2 other people?" Naruto did his best not to let out a sigh of relief. "Yeah, that's right. I wonder who they are going to be." "Sorry, I can't tell you that," the old man said. "But I'm serious about you not teaching them the Kagebunshin no Jutsu." Naruto looked like he was going to protest again, so the Hokage quickly added a little something. "And if you do, then I'm going to send you back to the academy." Smart old man, he knows that's exactly what I don't want, thought Naruto. He put up his dejected face. Fine, I promise that I won't teach anyone the Kagebunshin." "Alright, then you are dismissed," said the Hokage. "Don't forget that you're meeting with your team in a week." "Of course not. Goodbye, old man," yelled Naruto as he ran out the door. If it wasn't for that last bit, I would say that Naruto has matured quite a bit since graduating. The Hokage chuckled as he looked at the picture on his table. Still, it really bothers me that he knows about the 9 tails. He seems to be taking it well, but something was a little off. I don't know what though. "Maybe I should have a talk with him later," he observed as he sensed his grandson outside the door. "Well, it will be interesting to watch him once the teams are made up." Naruto calmly walked down one of the alleys that would eventually take him to his training field. "Humph, as if I would even consider teaching someone that jutsu," he sneered. "Anyway, time for my training," Naruto thought as he reached the grassy area. He instantly heightened all his senses. Making sure there was no one around, he proceeded to conceal his chakra even further. After all, academy students aren't supposed to have anything above medium-low. Within 5 seconds Naruto was pleased, chakra signature eliminated. Now to get to my real training area. Naruto sprinted into the forest at a fast speed. In about half an hour, Naruto arrived at a mid-sized clearing in the midst of a dense forest. On the right of the clearing was a small hot spring. On the far side the ground was all torn apart and upheaved, and except for the small rock formation on the left side, the rest of the clearing was covered in a deep green coat of grass. "Ah, home away from home," Naruto said gently. Yeah, kid," the Kyubi interrupted. "Now give me 200 push-ups on each hand, sit-ups and squats. On top of the water, mind you," Naruto groaned a little. "No complaining. You want to be strong enough to fight the strongest in the world? Then do these simple exercises." Naruto nodded rather hesitantly. "And for your hesitation, I'm tagging on 100 for each exercise." The Kyubi smiled viciously as Naruto ran off to do it before even more was tagged on. "Oh, and 500 laps around the clearing. I almost forgot that one." "Slave driver," Naruto mumbled and felt the Kyubi nod. 5 hours and many sore muscles later, Naruto sat down with his back against the rock. He was already feeling Kyubi's chakra healing his torn-up muscles. Next came the jutsu training. Flashback. "Hey, how come we're going to be doing Doton?" asked a 9-year-old Naruto. "I'm attributed to Doton and Suiton," answered the Kyubi, with a bit of annoyance. Naruto thought a little, "But then how come everyone thinks you control fire?" "Because humans are idiotic," growled Kyubi. "They think just because I'm red in color that must means that I can control fire." Naruto nodded in understanding. "So that's how you are able to destroy mountains and create tsunamis." "Exactly, but those are only a few of my vast collection of Doton and Suiton jutsus." "Those are the more destructive ones," said Naruto. "Those are the biggest ones," corrected Kyubi. "Those are for show, there are others equally or more powerful, just on a smaller scale." "How did you come to pick Doton and Suiton?" inquired Naruto. "No, it wasn't a picking matter," answered Kyubi. "When demons come from Makai Helton in Genkai human world, they are given supreme control over 2 elements. These elements are chosen randomly, but no 2 demons have control over the same 2 elements. It is called having supremacy over an element. So there can be 10 demons down here at most," calculated Naruto. Yes, but why we come here is unknown. I was practically ripped off of my throne and cast down into some random forest, clarified Kyubi. Supreme, not absolute control? Wondered Naruto. Yes, I found that there were some things that I couldn't do with Doton and Suiton, replied the Kyubi with a slight frown. It wasn't that I didn't have enough chakra, there just seemed to be a barrier that prevented me. End flashback. I've learned my fair share of Doton over the last 3 years, said Naruto. You have yet to unlock the Suiton chakra seal, taunted Kyubi. Hey, it's not my fault the black tattoo won't show up on my left arm, replied Naruto. The Kyubi growled, because of this, you can't start learning Suiton. I could learn some of the basics, can I? Asked Naruto. No, because then you would have to relearn the basics once your chakra system has changed to adapt to the Suiton seal, explained the Kyubi while redirecting a little bit of Naruto's chakra to make his arm hurt, as if it were punching him. Now go through all the Doton jutsus that you know, and then we'll have dinner. Naruto executed the earth element techniques consecutively in order of difficulty, only stopping to improve or perfect the ones he had some trouble with. A/N, evil of me not to show you any, huh? Well, it's more like he knows the basic ones that I've shown in ANC. Dinner was a quiet affair, as Naruto cooked and ate the rabbit he had caught. He really didn't want to make his way through Konoha's streets and to his shitty apartment, so he just slept in the hammock that he had hung up several years ago. Fresh air, no annoying villagers, no fucking ramen smell, and I don't have to run for half an hour to my training area. Naruto recounted all the ups of staying here. There's no heat or indoor plumbing, but not like I get much heat or water anyway. Naruto stayed at his training area for the whole week until the night before the meeting with his future genin team. It may look suspicious if I come from the forest, reasoned Naruto. Plus, I need to take a shower and change clothes. Ninja Academy. I hate that apartment. I hate the ramen I have eat for breakfast. I hate all the cows that walk the streets as if they own them. I hate these stupid fangirls that are blocking the door. Naruto was patiently waiting for Ino and Sakura to get through the classroom door. Finally someone pushed them in and they ran off to fight over who gets to sit next to Sasuke. I hate stuck-up bastards who think they are all that just because they are from a famous clan. Actually, I don't mind the Uchiha too much. He stays quiet and doesn't directly annoy me. Naruto calmly walked over to an empty chair and sat down quietly waiting for Iruka to get there. Within minutes Naruto had his head down on the desk as usual since Iruka was once again talking in his lecture voice and giving him information he already knew. 3-man teams, Jounin instructor, and of course a balance of strength, Naruto shrugged. As long as my team isn't full of fangirls I'll be content. Team 7, Iruka read. Haruno Sakura, Uzumaki Naruto, and Uchiha Sasuke. The bitchy fangirl that will constantly be hanging on to Sasuke and the arrogant stuck-up Uchiha, Naruto sighed. Fucking shit. The blonde ignored the rest of the team assignments. A lunch break, finally, after that boring-ass lecture about being shinobi, Naruto hissed as he ate his sandwich on the roof. And they don't even say anything about killing. Konoha is so sheltered, Kyubi scoffed in annoyance. Most of the new shinobi don't even kill until they become chunin. Idiotic. The value of life is high here, shrugged Naruto. They are fucking shinobi, Kyubi continued. That's why they get so distraught when their friends die in battle. They're not used to it. And then it fucks them up for life. Peace-loving idiots in the middle of a war-loving world. It all makes me sick. The Kyubi continued yelling about all the anger and hatred it harbored for Konoha. I need to get my mind off this, mumbled Naruto. Let's see what there is to do. He then noticed Sasuke standing next to a window eating his lunch. Perfect. Naruto quickly used his stealth skills to get behind Sasuke and drag him into the room. He quickly used his Kage Bunshin to overpower the Uchiha and tie him up. He then left the room in Sasuke's form, now to have some fun with that Sakura. Sitting on a bench depressed, how predictable, thought Naruto as he leaned on a tree across from her. Anytime now you'll notice me. Oh, finally, Naruto was relieved. Now then, warm eyes, pleasant but small smile. Naruto walked up to her and said, You sure have a large charming forehead. Makes me want to kiss it. Internally Naruto was laughing his ass off. He chuckled a little. Yeah right, that sounds like something Naruto would say. Sakura lowered her head dejected. Sakura, what do you think of Naruto? He's so annoying, always getting in my way, and he enjoys watching me struggle. All I want is for you to acknowledge me, said Sakura. You're struggling, fumed Naruto mentally. What the hell have you ever suffered with, you fucking bitch? I ought to just rip your hair off, stick it up your ass and light it on fire. Naruto took a deep breath. He quickly noticed that Sakura was leaning in for a kiss. I can't stay here. I'll tear her apart if I do. Naruto quickly stood up and ran away, leaving Sakura dumbfounded. The real Sasuke came walking back a minute later, asking where Naruto was. Sakura promptly pissed off Sasuke by saying that not having parents was a good thing, so he told her that she was annoying and that she should just leave him alone. Naruto was leaving the restroom with his hands in his pockets when he ran into Sasuke. So the guy finally managed to untie the ropes, Naruto thought sarcastically. Took you long enough, I had plenty of time to ruin your image. Sasuke's face went from a confused look to annoyance and finally to anger, but before he could say anything Naruto continued, we need to go, lunch break is over. After which he promptly walked away and ignored Sasuke completely. They sat there for the next 3 hours waiting for their Jounin instructor to arrive. Where the hell is this guy? Yelled Naruto. I swear I'm going to rip his head off for making me sit here and listen to Sakura talking scratch that trying to talk to Sasuke, but he's a brick wall. So all I've been hearing is her screeching voice and it might just drive me to mass murder within the next few minutes. Now you know how I feel, Kyuubi said wryly. Naruto was suddenly hit by an idea. He grabbed a blackboard eraser and, ignoring Sakura's protests, jammed it between the door and the wall. That'll show him for being late. As if a Jounin would fall for something so simple, commented Sasuke in annoyance. Just then they heard the door slide open and the eraser fell right on the head of a man with silver hair styled upwards and sideways, a forehead protector leaning to one side to cover his left eye, and a black face mask covering everything from his nose down. He wore the standard Jounin vest over a black shirt, black fingerless gloves, black pants and standard sandals. Well, my first impression is, said the Jounin loosely, I don't like you guys. He waited for them to recover from the shock before telling them to follow him to the roof. Well, let's start off with the basic introductions. What do you want to know? Asked Sakura. How about your likes, dislikes, hobbies, dreams for the future, stuff like that? Hey, why don't you introduce yourself first? Demanded Naruto. I should have used a kunai instead of an eraser. Oh, I'm Hatake Kakashi. I have no desire to tell you my likes or dislikes. Dreams for the future? And well, I have lots of hobbies. So all we learned was his name, Sakura commented. Naruto nodded, but was actually analyzing what Kakashi had told them, no desire, so he's lazy. Dreams for the future, I'd say that he's more of a person that just does missions, and something happened to his dream in the past. Lots of hobbies, probably only 1 or 2 and they are both personal, deduced Naruto. I have to commend him for the vague introduction. I'll make sure to do the same, though they won't notice, he smirked mentally. That's right, now it's your turn, stated the Jounin. Here goes, thought Naruto. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I like cup ramen, what I like even more is the restaurant ramen Irika-sensei buys me. What I dislike is waiting 3 minutes for the ramen to cook. My dream is to become Hokage and then have all the people of this village acknowledge my existence. He's grown in an interesting way, thought Kakashi. Good, they bought it, cheered Naruto. Now what I really like is training with Kyuubi, and I must say that killing is quite satisfying too. Dislikes, Konoha and everyone in it. Hobbies, training, pulling pranks on stupid villages and shinobi alike and learning high-level jutsu. Dreams for the future, revenge. Alright, next, said Kakashi lazily. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. There are tons of things I dislike, but I don't really like anything. And I don't want to use the word dream, but I have an ambition. The resurrection of my clan and to kill a certain man. So, he also wants revenge, thought Naruto. I thought so, Kakashi's eye narrowed. And lastly, the girl. I'm Haruno Sakura. The thing I like is, she glanced sideways at Sasuke. Well, the person I like is she again glanced at Sasuke. And my dream for the future once again glanced at Sasuke. The thing I dislike is Naruto. Damn, she's annoying. Dislike me all you want, I've hated you for a long time now. On the outside, however, Naruto decided to put on a neutral face. Girls of this age are more interested in love than ninjutsu, sadly thought Kakashi. That's it for today, tomorrow we will begin our duties. Oh, what kind of duties? Asked Naruto, already knowing about the real genin test. First we are going to do something for with just the 4 of us. Which would be? Hurriedly asked Naruto. Survival training, was the cold answer. Survival training? But we already did enough at the Ninja Academy, said Sakura. I'm your opponent, but this isn't normal training, laughed Kakashi. Of the 27 graduates, only 9 will be chosen as genin. The rest will be sent back to the academy. This training is a super difficult test with failure rate over 66. What? Screamed Sakura. Then, What the hell was the point of graduating? That's just to select those that have a chance to become genin, calmly answered the masked jounin. Anyway, tomorrow you will be graded on the training field. Bring all your shinobi tools. Oh, and skip breakfast or you'll throw up. Here, he handed them a piece of paper. The details are all on this handout. Don't be late. He disappeared. Crap, I can't use any of my special attacks, thought Naruto. Wait, a normal genin isn't supposed to know special attacks. Then this test is likely something witty. Naruto sighed and went home for the day. Late at night, when everyone was sleeping, Naruto sat with his back against the sealed gate in his mind. Hey Kyubi, how do you think I'll do on this test? He asked slowly. You would do fine, but you're masked. Yeah, but I'm letting that go now, lightly chuckled Naruto. I figure the whole graduated from the academy and became a genin is a good point to turn around my life, as they say. You'll have to do a lot of reading between the lines with your jounin instructor, Kyubi noted. Yeah, I already noticed that. He's one of those people that gets a kick out of being misinterpreted. You think there's anything he can teach me? I think an opportunity may present itself in the future where you will be able to pick up something from your lazy jounin, but otherwise you already know all the basics, and he doesn't seem like the helpful teacher type. Naruto felt a tail wrap around him and press him into the bars. You worry too much, kid. Plus there are still too many unknowns, this test being the biggest. You're right, Q, said Naruto calmly. Of course I'm right. How can the greatest demon on earth be wrong? Kyubi and Naruto laughed. Kyubi's tail then tightened around him. But don't you dare lose or let the jounin discover anything unpleasant, the demon warned. Naruto woke up early in the morning wanting to get to the training area on time. Kakashi said not to eat, but I honestly don't think I'll throw up, muttered Naruto sleepily. He didn't hurry too much, and casually brushed his teeth and ate his usual ramen. He was out the door about 5 minutes before the meeting was supposed to start, but he was sure they would wait for him. When he got to the training field, Sakura yelled at him for being late even though Kakashi wasn't even there yet. Again they waited for 3 hours for their jounin instructor to show up. The whole time Naruto busied himself with running all around the training field. While to Sasuke and Sakura it looked like he was goofing around, Naruto was actually doing his regular morning exercise, minus the push-ups and sit-ups. Hey guys, good morning, Kakashi said. You're late, screamed Sakura. Sasuke glared at the jounin, and Naruto simply stopped exercising. Kakashi just ignored them and put an alarm clock on top of the log. It's set to noon. By that time you have to get these 2 bells from me. He held up the bells. Those who cannot get a bell, get no lunch. I'll not only tie you to one of those stumps, but eat right in front of you. So this is why he told us not to eat, thought all the students. So glad I disobeyed directions, thought Naruto. You only need to get 1 bell, and since there are only 2, one of you will definitely be tied to a stump. And the person who doesn't take a bell fails. So, at least one of you will be sent back to the academy, explained Kakashi. You can use all the weapons at your disposal. You won't success unless you come at me intending to kill. I'd show you intending to kill, thought Naruto savagely. But alas, that would reveal too much. But you'll be in danger, said Sakura worriedly. Oh my god! Does she think that shinobi just take walks in the park with their loved ones or something? Naruto had to control his anger. His hands still twitched. Yeah, you couldn't even dodge a chalkboard eraser, laughed Naruto. In the real world, those with no talent often bark the loudest, said Kakashi matter-of-factly. Well, ignore Mr. Dead Last and start when I say. Dead Last, thought Naruto. I'll show him. Naruto whipped out his kunai, but before he could even move, Kakashi was already behind him and held his own kunai to the back of his neck. So he's quite capable, thought Naruto. Well, it seems like you're ready to come at me with intent to kill. I'm beginning to like you guys. Okay, let's get going. Ready, start, yelled Kakashi, and they all jumped away. The basics of a ninja is to hide yourself well, Kakashi stated as he looked at Naruto, who was right in front of him. You're a little off. Come on and fight me, yelled Naruto and rushed Kakashi. Shinobi lesson number 1, Taijutsu. I'll teach you all about it, the jounin said as he reached into his pocket. Naruto stopped and narrowed his eyes. He's going to use a weapon. Kakashi then pulled out a book named Come Paradise, and began reading. What's the book for? Asked Naruto suspiciously. Why? Well, because I want to read what happens next. Don't worry about it, it won't make a difference against you guys, he stated lazily. This must be one of his hobbies, thought Naruto. Reading those adult books. Well, to each his own, I suppose. I'll beat you to a pulp. shouted Naruto and attacked Kakashi with some basic punches and kicks. Kakashi managed to dodge them all and appeared behind Naruto. Shit, he's behind me, I could know. I'll just use something a lot simpler. Naruto's hands formed into a simple seal. Hidden Leaf Ancient Technique. 1,000 Years of Pain, yelled Kakashi and poked Naruto in the ass. However, right before the hit connected Naruto, he burst into a cloud of smoke and Kakashi ended up hitting a log. So the boy has some skill, complimented Kakashi. He used Kawarimi right before the hit connected, analyzed Sasuke. Not bad for a dead last. But that attack was just stupid. Suddenly 2 shuriken flew out of the forest headed straight for Kakashi, but the Jounin easily caught them on his index and middle finger. That's when 4 Naruto clones rushed straight at Kakashi. Ah, Kage Bunshin, but with your ability your limit is about a minute, deduced the Jounin. No matter how many you line up, you're still Naruto. You can't beat me with that jutsu. It was at that moment that Kakashi felt Naruto grab him from behind. Shinobi aren't supposed to be caught from behind, right, Kakashi-sensei? Said Naruto as he reached down to grab one of the bells, while his clones attacked Kakashi. However, before he could get the bell, it disappeared and Naruto noticed he was holding one of his own clones. Bastard, using the higher level Kawarimi that can switch you with a living person. I wasn't ready to counter that. Naruto quickly hit himself and released all his clones, save one. That was a nice plan, thought Sasuke as he formulating his own. Naruto's clone looked over to the side and saw a bell lying on the ground. That is obviously a trap, but I may as well fall for it. Maybe Kakashi will come out, figured the real Naruto. It was definitely a trap and Naruto was hoisted up by his legs. Kakashi walked out a few seconds later to collect the bell. Damn it, I missed my chance to get the bell, cursed Naruto. Think before using a jutsu, or it will be used against you, lectured Kakashi. And don't fall for such obvious traps, idiot. The Naruto in the tree smirked and disappeared in a puff of smoke. Kakashi seemed to ignore this and instead continued reading his book. He's playing with us, contemplated Naruto in his hiding place. He's not even fighting at a third of his strength. There is no way one of us could hope to beat him. Maybe you're not supposed to, hinted Kyubi. But then how the hell am I supposed to get the bell? Kyubi just laughed. 2 bells, 3 people, 1 fails. Something was wrong with this scenario. Naruto just couldn't put his finger on exactly what it was. Wait half a second, 3-man teams under 1 Jounin instructor. He can't just fail one of us. If one is failed then there is no more 3-man team, so in turn everyone fails. Naruto almost laughed out loud. Son of bitch. Teamwork. Naruto concluded. Gotta hand it to him, that's a good idea. Naruto's face suddenly darkened, but I can't say that I came up with that reasoning. So I have to hope that the love-struck, supposedly smartest girl on the team figures it out. Naruto sighed deeply. We're screwed, he muttered. Naruto watched as Sasuke threw a bunch of shuriken and kunai at Kakashi only to have Kakashi use a kawarimi to figure out Sasuke's position. A few minutes later he heard Sakura scream. Shinobi fighting lesson number 2, Genjutsu, stated Kakashi. Sakura easily fell for it. Naruto sighed and wondered why that girl was even trying to become a kunoichi. He watched as Sasuke pulled off some acrobatics trying to reach the bells, but Kakashi easily escaped. That's when Naruto realized another thing. We might be fighting to kill him and get the bell, but he has no such interest in us. So when it comes down to it, he would rather escape than stay and fight. I need to subtly force teamwork, but how? Deliberated Naruto. At that moment he caught sight of the lunches that were lying on top of the monument behind the trees. This gives me an idea, Naruto smirked. He would have put his plan into action immediately, but Naruto wanted to see how the battle between Sasuke and Kakashi would turn out. Smart, escaping underground with the Doton, Shinju Zanshu no Jutsu. Sasuke is outmatched when it comes to ninjutsu. Though if Kakashi-sensei were to try that trick with me I would kill him before he even got halfway towards me. Naruto then leapt off to steal the lunches. He sat with his back to the monument, and the lunches in front of him for about 5 minutes before he felt Kakashi right behind him. Kakashi promptly grabbed him and tied him up to a log for cheating. Within 20 minutes Sasuke and Sakura joined Naruto at the log. You guys look really hungry, taunted Kakashi. By the way, you guys don't need to go back to the academy. All 3 of you should quit as shinobi. Quit as shinobi? What the hell do you mean by that? Yelled Naruto. Shit, this is not going according to plan. Because you are all punks who don't deserve to be shinobi, informed Kakashi. Sasuke got pissed off and tried to attack the Jounin head-on, only to be disarmed and have the said Kakashi sitting on his back. Why do you think you guys are divided into teams and are doing this training? Asked Kakashi. What does that mean? Innocently asked Sakura. You guys are not understanding the answer to this test, the Jounin continued. Answer? Asked Naruto, feigning ignorance. Yes, the answer that helps you pass the test. So, when are you going to tell us? Asked Sakura. Naruto closed his eyes in frustration. You're the brain of the team and you don't understand and want an easy answer. You should just get mauled right now. Kakashi answered in about the same way, geez. Naruto couldn't take it anymore. Just tell us the answer already, damn it. It's teamwork, Kakashi said coldly. Wait, but there are only 2 bells. What is the point of teamwork if one person is still left out? Questioned Sakura. Kakashi then gave them his lecture on teamwork, even going so far as to point out that his best friend's name is on the memorial for dead heroes. After looking at it for several moments, he declared that he would give them one more chance to get the bells after lunch, but that it would be a lot harder. He also instructed that no lunch be given to Naruto or else they would be failed immediately. I don't need any food, yelled Naruto, but his stomach rumbled. Now just one of you please give me your food. Teamwork, that's all he wants. Naruto almost gave up and started thinking about strategies to attack Kakashi, when Sasuke offered him his lunch. The stuck-up bastard sharing his lunch, Naruto was surprised. Well, I guess it's right, since Sakura is way too law-abiding. Thanks, guys, said Naruto. As soon as he took a bite of food, Kakashi appeared and, while scarring them all, announced that they had passed because they were able to put their comrades in front of everything else. Kakashi then instructed them to meet him at a certain bridge at 9 in the morning the next day. Tihei all quite walked off, leaving Naruto tied to the log. Fucking assholes, raged Naruto. Well, fine. He concentrated on his Doton link and slowly, but surely, sank down into the ground. As soon as he had submerged himself, Naruto felt someone walking above him. He decided to traverse his way to the forest on the other side of the training field to avoid this person. Well, now I'm a genin, he thought contently. I hope the missions will be interesting and not a total waste of time like the academy class was. Naruto, in his swimsuit, relaxed on top of the pond in his training area. The sun was right above him, so he lay with his eyes closed just basking in the warmth. At random intervals it looked like he was watching a movie from a first-person perspective, and he couldn't help but laugh at his team. We are just 3 individuals that happen to be doing the same thing, he thought somewhat sadly. At least I got out of the mainstream duties. After the first 2 D-rank missions, Naruto had decided to call it quits, and use his time to train instead. He would send a Chakra Force clone to meet with his team. Wait at that godforsaken bridge for a good 3 hours with those 2, and then do 1 or 2 absolutely pointless missions for the next 6 hours. I have a lot better thing to do with 9 hours, Naruto frowned. He kept wondering how Sasuke and Sakura would perform if faced off against people that actually want to kill them. That little test that they had with Kakashi didn't amount to real fighting. After all, he was just running away. Naruto was kind of hoping that they would do well, then he wouldn't have to show off anything. He sneered when thinking about how much their teamwork was improving when they were clearing weeds from a garden. Kakashi hasn't even had us do the tree climbing exercise, thought Naruto. From what I've overheard, the rest of the teams have already done that. Naruto rolled over onto his stomach and opened his eyes to look at the destroyed forest in front of him. Hey, Q? What is it, whelp? Can't you see I'm trying to get some shut-eye? Growled Kyubi. Naruto grumbled a little, but didn't say any more. I wonder if I should actually go with them tomorrow, pondered Naruto. After all, maybe that old geezer of a Hokage will give us something better? Naruto stood up and shrugged. Never hurts to ask, right? That's when he felt it, a sudden memory of pain in his abdomen. Shit! What the hell happened? Wondered Naruto as he quickly started going over the clone's last memories. The last thing I found out was that they were halfway through painting a house. Naruto reached the last memory sequence and frowned. They had just finished the job and were on their way back, with Naruto's clone lagging behind a little. When suddenly Kakashi poofed away, it had been a Kage Bunshin. The very last memory was a very painful feeling in the clone's abdomen and the horrified looks on Sakura and Sasuke's faces. Naruto cursed. That Jounin figured it out, must have seen the switch between clones. Damn it, that sucks, now I have to go tomorrow. He sighed. He really didn't want to face all those imminent questions. Where were you? How come you don't come on missions with your team? He knew that Kakashi would probably give him the whole spiel about teamwork. No use thinking about that right now. Naruto walked back to the shore, got changed and continued his training routine until nightfall. The walk back had been about the same as usual. The cold stares, the glares, the whispering, and Naruto acting as if he couldn't hear them. But this night Naruto's mind was preoccupied with figuring out what excuses to use the following day. After much mulling over, he decided to just tell them the truth. During his sleep, Naruto went to talk to the Kyuubi. I told you, Kit, the Kage Bunshin was a good idea, but that the Jounin would see through it at one point or another. Naruto nodded. While a certain jutsu may work the first time, it doesn't mean that your opponent will fall for it again. That is why you must vary your attacks. The Kyuubi lectured on. Is this what you called me here for, to lecture me? Was the boy's frustrated reply. I already know that, but I certainly didn't want to waste my time painting houses when I could be training. Don't yell at me, Kit. The fox growled. I need you to train as much as possible, so that these vermin will get what's coming to them even sooner. You cannot sacrifice your main goal for such petty little everyday things. Control. Control even your anger and resentment, so that one day when the time comes you can let it all out and kill until your heart's content. Naruto woke up to the sound of his alarm clock at 7 in the morning. Technically, Kakashi doesn't even get there until 9 or later, so I don't have to be there right now, but I may as well. He shrugged and got out of bed. For breakfast he ate a rabbit that he caught the night before and slowly set out for Team 7's meeting place. He arrived to find Sasuke and Sakura already there. Sasuke lightly glanced in his direction, but didn't say anything, asshole. Sakura didn't even notice that he was there because she was too busy trying to talk to the asshole, annoying fangirl. Naruto sat cross-legged, leaning his back and head against the railing with his eyes closed. My clone would usually say hello to Sakura, then glare at Sasuke, and then try and talk to Sakura only to be ignored and favored for Sasuke. Since it all ends in silence anyway, I may as well not say anything at all. What the hell is that dope doing, though, Sasuke? Usually he would be yelling and screaming, and most importantly distracting Sakura. Sakura finally turned around to see what had captured Sasuke's attention. Is Naruto meditating? She wondered, but quickly wrote it off as sleep. She walked over and tried to punch him in the head, but he grabbed her wrist before the punch connected. His eyes quickly opened, the normal calm and happy cerulean eyes had darkened and grew serious. Sakura gasped. I'm not sleeping, Sakura, but if you want to talk I'd be more than happy, he smiled, and the warmth returning to his eyes. Sakura brushed it off as a trick of the light. As if I would want to talk with you, she said harshly and went back to talking to Sasuke. Naruto relaxed once more and went back to meditating. About an hour later, Naruto finished his daily meditation session and decided to check a theory. He changed his sitting position to a crouch and placed his right palm on the ground. His eyes closed in concentration as he used very thin chakra waves to fan out and search the surroundings. 300 feet and still nothing, thought Naruto. 500 feet is my max without visibly revealing chakra. If Kakashi were to be watching us from some covert location, there is no way that he could hear what we are saying, and he couldn't see us very well either. That bastard is actually sleeping in. Naruto scowled. Naruto leaned back against the railing, leaving a 50-foot search radius. It was nice and quiet now that Sakura had given up talking to Sasuke, or did she just run out of topics? It didn't matter to Naruto either way, he preferred having things quiet. After all, growing up alone you have to get used to it. The Kyuubi was always interesting, if not fun, to talk to, but the fox was mostly nocturnal. That left him with practically no one to talk to during the day. Naruto could, and did, always make small talk with the ramen chef and his daughter. There was Iruka-sensei, but he was a shinobi and Naruto would never risk revealing to him just how strong he was and who was training him. Self-preservation, Naruto constantly reminded himself. If they knew, they would act, but as long as they didn't know, he would be left alone. Naruto's mind digressed again to the memories of his childhood. Though this time he didn't focus in on the hatred of the villagers. That was reserved for battle situations when he needed the extra push and power. Right now his mind drifted to the simpler things in life, playing in the sandbox, walking by the lake, his pranking career and all the stupid punishments that he had been subjected to. At least they kept him busy and away from that lonely apartment. God, how he hated that place. Naruto wondered if that place had ever been filled with life at all. It felt like a crypt most of the time, and not just because it lacked a heater. When I make jounin, I'm moving far, far away from that place. If I can buy a piece of the forest, that would be even better. Naruto's thoughts were instantly shattered when he felt a strong chakra enter his field. It took him a second to pinpoint its location, approximate velocity, and whether or not it was on an intersection course with him, and if yes, how long until it got here. After all the instantaneous computations were done, Naruto realized that it was just their delinquent teacher running to meet them. You're late, Sakura yelled in response to Kakashi's greeting. Kakashi looked at Naruto curiously, but didn't say anything. Kakashi-sensei, what are we going to do today? Asked Sakura. Oh, I got us some slightly more interesting missions. His gaze shifted over to Naruto. Since some of us think the regular ones are too boring to even show up. You expect me to find weeding a garden fun? countered Naruto. Or how about painting a fence? These missions are designed to strengthen teamwork and teach young shinobi about responsibility. Kakashi emphasized the last word. What teamwork to begin with? And also, that hypocritical bastard has the nerve to bring up responsibility. Hey, the only reason we may not be that responsible is because you are always so late, said Naruto. Didn't your teacher tell you about responsibility? Kakashi's eye flickered with sadness for half a second before turning back to its usual lazy look. The problem here is that you haven't been showing up for missions at all, Naruto. Sakura gasped. She had thought that Naruto just hadn't shown up yesterday. Naruto, you should listen to what Kakashi-sensei says and don't inconvenience us by not showing up. I was here, in essence, Naruto said calmly. There is a big difference between being here and sending a part of your chakra here, replied Kakashi sternly. I don't think it makes much of a difference for weeding a garden, said Naruto. Kakashi sighed. Come on, Naruto, we have a mission to do. Naruto decided not to argue and instead focused on his teacher. He knows that I haven't been coming myself to many of the missions, but how many? When did he first start to suspect? Most importantly, what else does he know about me? Naruto kept thinking about the best and most discreet ways to find out the answers to all of his questions, when it suddenly hit him. His, now former since he was trying to get rid of it, mask always took the direct approach. He would actually make himself a target of suspicion if he were to do it any other way. Hey Kakashi-sensei, how did you know that it was a clone and not me? Asked Naruto. Simple, because your clone would try extra hard not be hit by anything, and when it couldn't avoid the hit it would make a cushion-like chakra padding to prevent its destruction. Naruto nodded slightly. That reasoning made sense. Also because I followed your clone one day and saw it turn into smoke. Naruto face faulted. Damn it! He baited me with the chakra cushion answer. Now he knows that I know more than I let on. Naruto decided to stay silent after that. There was no point to try and bluff his way out knowing how to chakra cushion his clones. If all else fails, I'll say that the instructions were in the Forbidden Scroll. He's not trying to deny it, thought Kakashi. Naruto does know how to use the chakra cushion enough so his clones don't die in one hit. Also, keeping a clone alive for the whole day when the original is far away is not a task that a genin should be able to perform. Now I have a question for you, Naruto. What have you been doing instead of missions? Slacking off? Naruto scowled. I'll have you know, I've been training. Dope, no training in the world could help you get out of your hole, smirked Sasuke. Naruto resisted the urge to bring up Sasuke and Itachi's skill gap, or ocean if you will. Watch your mouth, bastard. I can kick your ass if I want to. The teacher shook his head. Now, children, we've arrived at the forest where your target is presumed to be lost. Oh, and who are we searching for? Is this person worth my time? Asked Naruto sardonically. 2 hours later, Team 7 was in the administrative building, standing in line for their next mission. I still can't believe we had to search for a cat, muttered Naruto. A cat. You'd think they would take pity on the thing and kill it considering who the owner is. But then we would be out of our job, reminded Kakashi, the jounin though he heard Naruto mumble something about good and burning gardens. Then, we wouldn't have to do such stupid things for a job, replied Naruto. Hey old man, can't you give us a better mission? You skip out on meetings with your team and you think I'm going to give you a better mission? Asked the Hokage, blowing out smoke from his pipe. If the missions weren't so damn boring, then I would make an effort to come and meet with my team. How is that you know what missions you are doing if you're not even there? My Kage-bunshin tell me, of course, don't you know? Or have you really gotten that old and senile? Laughed Naruto. Naruto, you cannot talk to the Hokage like that, yelled Iruka, who sat right next to the Sandaime throughout all the exchanges. These missions are done by all the genin teams because that is how shinobi villages are structured. Both Iruka and the Hokage went on explaining how missions were assigned between each rank. Naruto calmly tuned it out since he already knew all this and knew that the Hokage would refuse to give them a better mission. The blonde knew that he would have to bide his time, and wait until he had Kakashi's trust once more, so that he could send a clone to the meetings once more. Naruto, are you even listening to what I'm saying? Yelled the Chunin schoolteacher. I apologize, Hokage-sama, Kakashi said quickly. Geez. All you do is give boring lectures like that. But you know, I'm not the same troublemaking brat that you still think I am. Geez, I'm the one that's going to take responsibility for this later, thought Kakashi. The Hokage then thought for a moment, and decided that it would be a good experience for the whole team to try something a bit harder. He concluded that the Uchiha probably also felt the same way, but just didn't voice his opinions. And Kakashi would be able to help them out if things went a little sour. Okay, since you want it that much, I'll give you a C-rank mission. Everyone was appalled that the Hokage gave in to the Genin's tantrum. It is a protection mission of a certain individual, the Hokage elaborated. Everyone was still staring at the old man as if he had just grown another head. The door opened and an old man with a beer bottle stepped out. What is this? They are all a bunch of brats, especially the shortest one with the stupid-looking face. Are you really a ninja? Were the first words out of the stranger's mouth. Naruto knew that the old man was referring to him and immediately lashed out screaming obscenities at him. Kakashi quickly intervened and held off the angered Naruto. I am the super expert bridge builder Tazuna and I expect you to provide me super protection until we get back to my village and my bridge is complete, the old man introduced himself. Naruto sighed. This was going to be a very long and strenuous assignment. Naruto gave Tazuna the benefit of the doubt since he was drunk, but it was still hard to ignore all the insults that the man was spewing out about him. Naruto had finally had it. Hey old man, don't mess with ninjas. Never know when one might slit your throat while you're sleeping. In his drunken haze Tazuna didn't fully register the words. I doubt a brat like you could ever do something like that, snorted Tazuna. Even if you could do something like that, I would still treat you the same. He's just like the rest of the villagers. If only I was alone with him, he wouldn't be drawing breath. Naruto's face contorted in anger. I'll kill you! He screamed. Kakashi grabbed Naruto by the back of his vest and held him at bay until he calmed down. Once they started walking again, Sakura asked whether or not the Wave Country also had ninjas. Kakashi explained that while the Wave doesn't have shinobi, most other countries do have hidden villages and shinobi do exist. He went on explaining about the 5 great shinobi countries and the roles the Kage play. Naruto tuned it out, instead concentrating on the chakra signatures he had felt when they left the village. They are up ahead of us, on the actual road. Are they seriously going to attack us directly? Wondered Naruto. He decided not to guess but wait and see. His attention switched back to the Kakashi's history lesson. You'd think that Sakura would already know all of this by now. No, of course not, she only knows what is taught to her. Kyubi woke up and slightly startled Naruto. The rest of the human female's time is spent on superficial things that completely do not relate to being a shinobi. Naruto didn't respond. His opinion of the girl had been predetermined since the days of the academy. He didn't like her at all. If she managed to keep her mouth shut then she was tolerable, but most of the time she was just plain annoying as hell. Makes me cringe every time you say you like her. Hey, I haven't done that lately. That couldn't be helped, she was one of those things that kept the mask in place. She helped with the cycle of me thinking one thing, but saying the opposite. He spotted the puddle out of the corner of his eye, but didn't say anything or give any sort of indication that he had even noticed. Foolish to hide in a puddle when it hasn't rained in several weeks. Kakashi seems to have noticed, but he hasn't said anything. The situation does seem a bit fishy, especially with Tazuna's current behavior, as opposed to how he was when we were safely inside Konoha. The sound of chains broke Naruto's thoughts and made him spin around before anyone had even noticed what was going on. He saw the chains wrap around Kakashi, but the Jounin just made it look like he was shocked. Kawarimi, most Jounin don't even need to do hand seals for it. Naruto felt the 2 shinobi close and behind him, but just as he was going to act he saw Sasuke throw shuriken to stop the chains. Well, I may as well not show off my skills quite yet. Sasuke kicked the attackers so hard that their chains broke and they were once again free to attack once more. Stupid, he should have killed them while they were still bound, thought Naruto as he saw one close in on him. Naruto saw the claws extend towards him and he quickly sidestepped to the right, his hand already on his kunai, drawing it out to stab the man. The other enemy was rapidly closing in on Tazuna and Sakura. Just then Kakashi intervened by grabbing both in a headlock at the same time. Show off, thought both Naruto and Sasuke, while Sakura was overjoyed that their sensei hadn't been died. Tazuna-san, I need to talk to you, said Kakashi in a serious tone. These look like hidden Miss Chunin. If you knew about them, then why did you let the brats fight? Asked the bridge builder. There was something I had to find out who those 2 were after, the Jounin explained. We hadn't heard that there were shinobi after you. Our mission was to simply protect you from bandits or gangs. This has now become at least a B-rank mission. I'm sure you had a reason, but it causes problems when clients lie about the mission. We are now operating outside of our duties. We aren't ready for this mission, then let's quit, said Sakura quickly. Naruto and Sasuke both narrowed their eyes at her in frustration. Let's quit, what kind of attitude is that, thought Naruto. This is exactly why I hate her, she is so weak, were Sasuke's thoughts. No, we will continue this mission, said Naruto resolutely. Tazuna then went on to explain about Gatu and how the building of Tazuna's bridge is going to help out the wave's economy. Also, the reason behind not being able to hire better shinobi was that the wave country is so poor that even the feudal lord doesn't have any money. He then went on to guilt-trip the shinobi into continuing the mission by bringing up his own death, and then the miserable lives his daughter and grandson would have. Smart actually, thought Naruto when he heard Kakashi agree to continue on with the mission. They made it over the channel and into the wave country without incident. The only thing left now was to get to Tazuna's house in one piece, which Naruto knew would not be easy. If we get attacked again, it will be the next level up, a jounin, thought Naruto and Kakashi. And judging from the previous attack, whoever it is will be ready for us. They continued walking for several minutes before Naruto threw a kunai into the bushes. "What the hell are you doing?" yelled Sakura. "There was something there," he responded. Sakura walked over and looked behind the bushes, where she saw a dead snow rabbit. "Naruto, what have you done?" she yelled. "God damn, she makes it sound like I did something incredibly horrible. It's just a rabbit. Though rabbits shouldn't be white right now. It's spring, so all the rabbits that I know of are brown, meaning that this one isn't here naturally." "Everybody get down!" yelled Kakashi suddenly. Naruto also felt the disturbance and instantly fell to the ground, dragging Sakura with him. The giant head cleaver passed right over them and embedded itself into a tree on the other side of the field. A ninja appeared standing on the sword's handle, looking over his shoulder at them. "This guy's definitely a jounin," thought Naruto, waiting to see what Kakashi would do. Well, if it isn't the hidden missing nin Momochi Zabuza," greeted Kakashi. "Everyone get back, this one's on a whole other level. Against him it will be a little tough, unless I do this." Kakashi's hand went up to his slanted forehead protector. "You appear to be Sharingan Kakashi," said the missing nin. "Sorry, but the old man is mine." "Sharingan," thought Sasuke in shock. How would Kakashi-sensei have the Sharingan? "Looks like your teacher is finally going to show off his trump card," said the Kyuubi in an amused voice. "The copying eyes," thought Naruto. "Not only. Talented wielders can cast genjutsus using those eyes," explained the fox. "And if they have an even better blood mix, they can achieve the second form of the Sharingan, the Manjikyu. But I'll save the details for later, Kit. Now just watch the battle. Surround and protect Tazuna-san, but do not enter the fight. That is the teamwork here," said Kakashi as he prepared to lift up his forehead protector. "Zabuza, first you have to fight me." He uncovered his left eye, revealing a red eye with 3 black dots. So that's what it looks like, thought Naruto. 2 commas to copy and slightly foresee, and 3 to foresee completely and copy everything but bloodlines. A powerful ability, but it has its flaws, as does everything. "I already get to see the famous Sharingan. I'm honored," said the former Miss Nin. "Sharingan? What is that?" asked Sakura. "Sharingan is one of the types of pupil that gives you the ability to read and defeat all types of genjutsu, ninjutsu, and taijutsu," explained Sasuke. "But that's not the only ability the Sharingan has." "Yes, exactly. What's even scarier is that you can copy your opponent's techniques once you see them," added Zabuza. "When I was a member of the Hidden Mist assassination team, I kept a handbook. It included information on you. What is said was, the man who copied over 1,000 jutsu, copy ninja Kakashi." Sakura was shocked that her teacher was such a great ninja. Sasuke, on the other hand, was confused because he knew that no one outside of the Uchiha clan should have the Sharingan. Naruto wondered exactly how extensive Kakashi's jutsu library was. "Now, let's end this talking. I have that old man to kill," said Zabuza. The 3 genin instantly surrounded their client. "But Kakashi, it seems that I have to beat you first," he said and jumped down onto the water. Naruto's eyes instantly narrowed at those words. He may say that, but that only gives more reason not to do so. "Over there, on top of the water!" shouted Sakura. "Ninpu, hidden mist no jutsu," said Zabuza and faded into the rising fog. "He'll come after me first," said Kakashi in an effort to calm his students. Momochi Zabuza, as a member of the Hidden Mist, was known as an expert in silent killing. You don't even notice until you're already dead. It's not like I can use the Sharingan perfectly, so you guys best be careful. Silent killing, huh? Thought Naruto with a slight smile on his face. I like this guy already. Don't get cocky now. You may like him, but he'll still kill you. When you have matured more, I'll teach you all about silent killing. Matured meaning having the Suiton unseal, Naruto replied dryly. Yes, the combination of water and earth is essential for keeping yourself completely hidden. But for now, keep your ears open. Just because you don't see him doesn't mean he doesn't see you. I know, replied Naruto and shifted to a much more serious mood. The mist thickens, meaning he's getting ready to strike, but where? The mist is getting thicker, Kakashi-sensei, informed Sakura. 8 choices, a voice said. Liver, lungs, spine, jugular vein, carotid artery, brain, kidneys, and heart. Which one should I go after? Listing off all the critical areas in order to scare us, but it won't work against me. Since I only have 2 critical areas, the heart and the brain. You either kill me instantly or I'll regenerate it. Then the killer intent hit. Everyone was frozen, even Sasuke was having a hard time dealing with it. Naruto shrugged it off by running a bit more chakra through his entire body, but most genin didn't know that. That's when Kakashi summoned up a bit of his chakra, letting it flare around him to dispel the effect for all the genin. Sasuke, don't worry. I'll protect you guys even if it kills me, reassured Kakashi. I don't let my comrades die. A big help you'll be when dead, thought Naruto sarcastically. We'll see about that. A foreign voice called out right next to them. Zabuza had managed to get in between the genin and Tazuna, because of Kakashi's chatting. Naruto found himself to be basically back-to-back with the enemy, and quickly decided to use his position to his advantage. He pulled out a shuriken and threw it behind him and slightly to the side, as he was being pushed away by Zabuza. When he had landed, he found that Zabuza had merely been a water clone and that there was another Zabuza right behind Kakashi halfway through a swing. However, Kakashi also burst into water and appeared right behind Zabuza with a kunai to his throat. You don't get it, Zabuza said coldly. There's no way you can defeat me with you monkey-like imitations. A good use of the Sharingan and the clones, but I am also not easy. Zabuza appeared right behind Kakashi, just as the water clone in front of Kakashi dispersed. Zabuza tried to cut Kakashi in half, but the copy ninja ducked down, and once the sword had passed over him, he kicked Zabuza away. Zabuza got up and rushed at Kakashi only to find throwing nails scattered across the ground. Out of the corner of his eye he saw Kakashi jump into the water. Foolish, he said as he appeared right behind him. Water prison no jutsu. Kakashi cursed as he saw the water pulling in around him and found that he could not move. You may have tried to escape to the water, but that was a big mistake. Now I have you in my inescapable special prison. Now Kakashi, we can finish things later, but first I'll take care of them. Mizu Bunshin no Jutsu. A water clone formed in front of the 3 genin. Zabuza quickly mentioned that the 3 genin were not real shinobi, and then disappeared. He reappeared right in front of Sakura and kicked her hard in the chest, leaving her to slide along the ground and then stomped on her forehead protector. Just a brat, he commented. You guys, take Tazuna-san and run away. As long as he's keeping me trapped in this prison he can't move. The water clone can't stray very far from the real body. Just run away now, advised Kakashi from within the prison. This is a jounin. At this rate I'm really going to die. I don't want to die, thought Sakura in desperation. She got up and started running away. She didn't make it far when strong hands caught her and roughly pulled her back. No, let me go, I don't want to die, she screamed. Shut up, yelled Naruto. Just because you can't do it doesn't mean others also can't. What kind of teammate are you if you're just so willing to run away and save your own life while we risk ours? Sakura stood there in shock with her eyes wide open. You don't want to get involved in the frontline action, that's fine, then cover us from the back. However, don't you ever run away like that, or you are absolutely not worthy of even considering yourself to be a ninja. Naruto, what? He's not like this usually, thought Kakashi. Not that I disagree, but the way it was presented was just a bit harsh, thought Sasuke. That felt good. But now I've got to focus on the battle at hand. He's expecting an attack on his clone, but he is not even entertaining the possibility that we would go straight for him, contemplated Naruto. I could easily enough take him out with the Doton Jutsu, but no need for fancy things when simple will do. Sasuke, I have a plan. Teamwork, eh? Replied Sasuke. Now let's get wild. A lot of arrogance, but you don't actually stand a chance, said Zabuza. Keep underestimating us, the better for us. Naruto observed Zabuza in anticipation. Are you ready? He asked Sasuke. Ha, you guys will never grow up. Going to keep playing ninja, eh? Asked Zabuza mockingly. When I was your age, these hands were already dyed red with blood. Devil Zabuza, muttered Kakashi. Long ago in the hidden mist, there was a final obstacle in becoming a ninja. So you even know about the exam, Zabuza laughed darkly. It would have scarred Naruto if he had no been used to the Kyuubi laughing in about the same way. The exam was a fight to the death between students. Friends who have trained and eaten together are pitted against each other, and go at it until one of them loses his or her life. These were friends who helped each other and shared dreams. Sasuke and Sakura had paled. Naruto was calmly listening to Zabuza's story and small appraisal commentary from the QB. 10 years ago, the Hidden Mist graduation exam was forced to change. This change came after the previous year, when a devil appeared. Without pause or hesitation, a young boy who was not even a ninja had killed over 100 of the students. Zabuza the devil, thought Naruto, but didn't have time to carry his thoughts any further. During the talking, Zabuza's clone had moved into striking range of Sasuke and now had him pinned down under his foot. Naruto made a cross-shaped hand seal and made several dozen shadow clones appear all around Zabuza and Sasuke. Shadow clones, said Zabuza's clone, and a large amount, but all of Naruto's shadow clones jumped on Zabuza and Sasuke. Not enough. Sasuke and all the Narutos were thrown in different directions. Sasuke! Came a sudden yell. The said person looked up just in time to catch an evil wind shuriken. He smirked when he figured out Naruto's plan. Evil wind shuriken, shadow windmill, said the Uchiha genius and jumped high into the air, before launching the weapon. A shuriken won't work against me, said Zabuza. He watched as the shuriken went around his clone and flew at him. So you were aiming at the real me, but he caught the shuriken mid-flight. That's not enough. That's when he noticed the second shuriken that had hidden in the shadow of the first, flying right at him. Good, but still not enough, declared the missing Nin as he jumped over it. Sakura paled. What were they going to do now that their plan had failed? Sasuke merely smirked confidently. The shuriken burst into smoke to reveal Naruto with a kunai already pulled back and ready to throw. Zabuza had been caught off guard and the kunai managed to pierce the skin right below his right eye, while he was dodging it. Damn brat! He yelled as he twirled the shuriken, getting ready to throw it at the orange-clad genin. However, that plan was foiled when Kakashi blocked the spinning of the shuriken with the back of his fist. Great plan, Naruto, Kakashi congratulated his student. You guys have grown up. So, I got distracted and released the jutsu, said Zabuza. No, you were forced to release it, corrected the copycat. Zabuza glared at him before jumping back and starting his hand seals before even landing on the water. Kakashi copied the former Miss Nin's movements completely. They completed the long list of hand seals at the same time. Suetun, Water Dragon Blast no Jutsu. Twin dragons rose up out of the water between the jounin and attacked each other. Naruto had managed to land on top of the water, but at this point that did more harm than good as the two dragon attacks slammed right into him. Naruto was swept off by the attack and finally ended up with his back slammed hard into a tree trunk. The force of the attack was so hard that it felt as though the water was burning him. After the attack was done, Naruto slumped down against the tree and watched as Kakashi used the Sharingan to trap Zabuza in a genjutsu. He winced once more, as the water swept up against him after the water explosion no jutsu. Why the hell does it hurt so much? He wondered as he lightly checked for broken bones, not finding any. Naruto bent over, breathing hard trying to tolerate the burning sensation on his left side. He looked up briefly when he heard the Mist Hunter Nin's voice. Damn asshole, couldn't he have helped a little? Yeah, go ahead, take him along with you and do whatever you want. The constant pain was so aggravating that Naruto could care less what happened around him. Once the two Mist Shinobi were gone, Naruto slowly got up and walked over to the rest of the party, all the while trying to show any pain. Kakashi had declared that it was over and they could safely go to Tazuna's house now. He promptly collapsed right after saying that. And he's a jounin? Wondered Naruto. He doesn't even know his own limits. Luckily for him, Tazuna and Sasuke had already picked him up, so Naruto didn't have to waste his energy. Several hours later, in Tazuna's house, Kakashi finally woke up saying that he wouldn't be able to move for about a week or so. Everyone rejoiced at the end of the battle and the death of Zabuza, but Kakashi didn't seem too happy. When he was explaining about the duties of Hunter Nin, his voice was too calculating. Sensei, what's wrong? Worried Sakura. Well, body erasing teams usually dispose of the body of the person they killed right there, explained Kakashi. So what? Don't you see? How did that masked boy dispose of Zabuza's body? How should we know he took the body with him? Yes, exactly. He should only need the head for the kill confirmation. So most likely Zabuza is still alive. Everyone in the room paled at the news. I checked that he was dead, but it most likely a momentary death. The needles that the boy used have a low probability of killing the opponent unless they hit a vital organ. Naruto smiled. He would get a chance to fight a strong opponent in the near future. He's actually happy about it, thought Kakashi. You guys will receive training in preparation for the upcoming battle. Training? But what is a little training going to do? Asked Sakura, making it sound like Kakashi was trying to get them killed. Naruto's muscles tensed at the girl's ignorance, but he managed to keep his comments to himself. Sakura, you guys saved me while I was struggling. So you guys are growing rapidly, especially Naruto. But obviously, this is just training until I get better. You won't be able to defeat Zabuza without me. Such arrogance is what caused you, and us, to be in this current situation, thought Naruto. If you just hadn't played around with him, then Zabuza would be dead and you wouldn't be lying there with chakra exhaustion. Mom, these people are going to die, said a young voice from behind Naruto. Everyone turned to look at the newcomer. It was a little boy 10 years of age and had the gloomiest disposition Sakura had ever seen. What do you mean? She asked nervously. Naruto mentality shook his head. There's no way you can win against Gato, the boy explained. If you don't want to die, you should leave. I'm sorry, apologized Azuna. My grandson Inari is going through a hard time right now. The boy is right, in a way. You shouldn't actually be focusing on the missing Nin. They are mercenaries, meaning if there is no money waiting for them, they have no reason to stay. So if you were to eliminate to the root of the problem, then the whole tree would die too. Kill Gato and everything falls. I agree, but this is not an assassination mission. I doubt Kakashi would do that even if he was in full health. Naruto contemplated. If everyone here hates Gato, then they should have scrapped all their money together and gotten an assassin to kill the man. It would have saved a lot of headaches. But then you would be out of a job, not to mention an actual mission, teased the fox. I know that, he mentally shouted. But that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. This caught Naruto's attention. Whenever you're free, you should take a look at your left arm. You might find something interesting. Naruto's eyes widened. You couldn't mean it's finally activated, he rejoiced. The next day, Team 7 went out into the forest for the scheduled training. Is he finally going to be teaching us the tree climbing exercise? Wondered Naruto, also speculating whether or not he should fake failure. Before we start the training, I want to talk about the shinobi ability, chakra. So we are doing that. Well, I'll just hold off until the end of the day to get it right. Remember that we only have a week to train your new Suiton abilities. Don't waste precious time. You guys may be able to do jutsus, but you are not using chakra efficiently. Naruto tuned out this conversation. He had gotten this lecture when he was 9 years old. So what are we going to do? Asked Sakura. Tree climbing, answered Kakashi. Tree climbing? What kind of training is that? Doubted Sakura. Listen until the end, please. This isn't normal tree climbing. You'll be climbing without using your hands. Kakashi channeled his chakra and just walked right up the side of the tree. Naruto smirked. It had gotten instinctive for him by now. He was looking forward to the challenge of being able to backward control his chakra, so he wouldn't stick to the tree. See, gather your chakra to the bottom of your feet and climb up a tree. This is a cinch once you've mastered chakra control. Wait, but how does this exercise make us stronger? Asked Sakura. By being able to control chakra, you'll be able to master any jutsu, theoretically, explained Kakashi. The second thing is that you'll develop the stamina needed to control chakra properly. The second thing is something Sakura really needs, thought the Jounin. Compared to Sasuke and Naruto, she has almost none. Kakashi quickly took out 3 kunai and threw them down to his students. Use those to mark how high you've made it up the tree. You won't be good enough to climb up the tree at first. The 3 genin ran towards their selected trees. Sasuke got up about 10 feet before his use of too much chakra broke the bark and sent him tumbling down. Naruto withdrew most of his chakra, so he made it up only 5 feet before falling. Sakura was the only one to make it up to the branch. This is pretty easy, she said, smiling. Of course, she has such small chakra reserves that I would be surprised if she couldn't control it, thought Naruto, even though he felt the slight tug of jealousy. I could have done on the first try too, but chose not to. Kakashi made a certain comment about Hokage and the Uchiha clan, to forcefully motivate the boys. Sakura, of course, only depended on the Uchiha. Naruto decided to fake ignorance, and went up to Sakura for asking for some tips. Half an hour had passed and Naruto hadn't made any progress at all. Damn it, I'm holding my chakra back because I know that I'll stick if I use any more. And it hasn't come time to walk away yet. Naruto kept cursing under his breath. Things hadn't gone as Naruto planned. Kakashi stayed with them until nightfall and didn't allow them to train afterwards. So Naruto was forced to come back the next day for the same training. Damn it! This is really eating up my training time. He looked over at Sasuke. Would he find it weird? Of course he would, but the question is, would he tell Kakashi if I suddenly made it to the top? Naruto deliberated on this for a while until Sasuke's voice brought him back to reality. What do you want? What did Sakura tell you? asked the Uchiha genius. Huh. Oh, just keep your emotions in check and focus on the chakra instead of the people around you, said Naruto calmly. He had come to a resolve. Like this. He gracefully walked up the tree. No wasted effort, no exuberant shouting, just a calm walk up the tree as if he had been doing in his whole life. Sasuke just stared in amazement as the dobe had just beaten him completely. Then his face contorted in a scowl. He was making fun of me just now. I'll show him, thought Sasuke angrily and completely forgot all the advice Naruto had just given him. Naruto watched this from the top of the tree, shaking his head before jumping away towards the coast. Ah, I finally managed to get away. Good, now take off your shirt and have a look at your tattoo, ordered the fox. Naruto complied and found that indeed 2 tattoos had appeared on his left arm. The black part of the tattoo was identical to the one on his right arm, but what the part that was gray on his right arm was ice blue on his left. As you can see, this time you got both the control seal and the connector to the supremacy. The change in color is element specific, but you'll fully understand only when the runes develop. How far am I from the runes? Your Doton brown line has yet to extend into your chest, and only after that will the runes start forming, explained Kyubi. Quite a while, huh? No use rushing these things. After all, you do need to perfect your control over the ones you already know. Sometimes I feel like you're controlling how fast the seal spreads. Well, in a way, maybe, with what I teach you and how fast, but the seal has a mind of its own. However, enough chit-chat, go stand in water and become one with it. Naruto knew exactly what the Kyubi meant. It had been the same for his Doton training. First he had to feel the water beneath him and around him. Get a feel for how it flowed, for everything that it flowed around, and then be able to discern the things that were floating and or swimming in it, to be at one with water in his environment. It was like an extension on meditation, because he wasn't just focusing on himself, but also on another object. In this case a very large object. Suiton and Doton, the Kyubi had explained, are the most plentiful of all the elements, except for maybe Futon. These 2 elements are always around you, and to have complete control over them gives you a very big advantage in battle. The Kyubi had mentioned a Tanuki, in passing, that had control over Futon and Doton. This Tanuki seemed to mostly focus on defense, and didn't use his Doton abilities to their full capabilities. Naruto got the distinct feeling that the Kyubi and the Tanuki did not get along well. Naruto had achieved supremacy over Doton when he turned 11. Even now when he was standing waist deep in the water he could feel the sand beneath his feet, and that gave him a link to all the earth in a certain radius. This radius would grow, said the Kyubi, along with Naruto's abilities and the formations of the runes, which were said to give innate control over the element of choice. What that exactly meant Naruto did not know, and the Kyubi chose not to elaborate, saying that guesses could not be made since he was only half demon. Naruto had his eyes closed in concentration as he felt himself bonding with the water all around him. He had restrained himself several times and had not applied control to the water, but rather listened to it and to the patterns being formed by the current. After a while Naruto started feeling as if there was water surrounding his upper body as well as his lower body. Those are water particles found in the air. Since we are right next to the ocean, there is a lot more water in the air, which in turn means that it is easier for you to feel and find. Though I must say that I'm impressed with the progress you are making. Naruto smiled at the compliment. They were rare and few, and were to be highly cherished. Alright, I think that'll be enough. Now I want you to make a Mizu Bunshin. Naruto waited a little bit longer for the Kyubi to tell him the seals, but then realized that since he knew the Kage Bunshin he wouldn't need them. Naruto concentrated on the water and on his form and sent chakra into the water. Slowly a perfect Mizu Bunshin rose out of the water and walked on top of it toward Naruto. Good. Now work to increase the speed and vary the image you give the clone. Since this is not the shadow clone which you have to pull out of your chakra, a Mizu Bunshin can be made having any shape you desire. If I want to confuse the enemy by making a Mizu Bunshin of one of my teammates, or a non-existent teammate, I could do that. Yes, the same chakra signature, but 2 different people, and it's not genjutsu. Most shinobi, even from the mist, do not know about this little feature. Naruto trained like that way into the night. He did not even feel hungry until he woke up the next morning on the shore. But he had mastered it. The Mizu Bunshin was done. He could now make a dozen or so water clones simultaneously, each with a different image. He didn't bother going back to Tazuna's house and used his newfound powers to catch a fish. Sadly, Naruto was limited to only pre-existing water jutsu, since he did not have Suiton supremacy yet and could not manipulate water in any way he saw fit. Next, the Kyubi had him do the hidden mist no jutsu that Zabuza had used in battle. Naruto had to draw out the water from the ocean and combine it with the already existing water in the air. While it doesn't sound too hard, It was definitely the step up from just making things out of water. Again, though, this was very much like what he had to do when training with Doton, so his previous knowledge helped greatly. Good, now that you've got pretty good control of these 2 stages, we are going to be moving on into the 3rd one. So far you have only been manipulating the water in calm ways. Naruto nodded in agreement and understanding. Now, we are going to move on the violent manipulations. First, I want you to spin the water around you, then make it rise up while spinning, initially in a column, then make it more into a sphere. A shield of sorts, deduced Naruto. Quite so, the water sphere barrier. This is probably the most efficient barrier. While there is a simpler one that just creates a wall of water in front of you, it is not very practical. The water sphere barrier does use a bit more chakra, but it can be used to counterattack during or after the enemy's attack. I've found that in serious battles you don't have time to make the hand seals, concentrate, and regather water for an attack. It took Naruto only 4 to 5 hours to make the water sphere barrier and move on to learning the counterattacks built into it. After which, Naruto was thrown into learning the more destructive Suiton attacks like water explosion no jutsu. Though almost all the things Naruto learned were attacks to use if the enemy was in the water. Most of the surface attacks, the Kyuubi instructed Naruto to wait until after obtaining supremacy, simply because surface techniques took a lot of chakra and very many hand seals. Manipulate the inner works of water, yes. Directing water, yes. But making water rise up in a certain shape and destroy things, that right was not given to humans. That is why the water dragon blast takes so many hand seals, because humans are not meant to manipulate water in such ways. I don't see why they don't use tsunami-like jutsus. Surface jutsus that don't take any intricate shape, but do about the same amount of damage. Yes, they cost a bit more chakra, but they require at least half as many hand seals and their formation is quicker. Naruto listened closely to the fox talk about the various jutsus and their respective efficiencies. That night Naruto did come back to Tazuna's house, just in time for dinner. "Naruto, where have you been?" shouted Sakura. "Training, of course," was the tired response. "But Sasuke-kun said that you weren't tree climbing anymore." "I finished that exercise and now I'm training on my own." "Naruto, building up your own strength is fine, but you have to consider that you are part of a team," reasoned Kakashi. "Damn, if only I wasn't injured I would be able to track him and find out how he trains." Naruto was about to answer, but the food had just arrived and he dug in instantly. He ate quickly and asked for seconds before anyone had even gotten through half of his or her meal. He then proceeded to eat the second portion just as fast as the first, and was done at the same time that everyone else had finished. "Excuse me, I need to go train," he said as he rose up from the table and headed to the door. "Naruto, at least take someone with you to train together," suggested Kakashi. "Sorry, sensei, but this is personal training," he paused. "And I don't think anyone could keep up with what I'm doing." He opened the door and walked out onto the dock. Sasuke ran up to him and grabbed him by the collar. "Damn it, Dobe, stop being so stupid!" "Let me go, you bastard!" yelled Naruto. Sasuke complied and threw Naruto off the dock. By this time everyone had already walked out of the house and were shocked to see that Naruto was crouched down on top of the water. Naruto Sakura trailed off. Naruto looked up to see a bunch of shocked faces. What are they so surprised about? Oh shit. I instinctively landed on top of the water. How to explain this? Panicked Naruto. "Naruto, I did not know that you had mastered water walking already," said Kakashi happily. Naruto narrowed his eyes at him. "Maybe you were right, maybe we can't keep up with you." Sasuke scowled, he knew that comment was made for him. In all this time he had only gotten halfway up the tree and Naruto was already water walking. Though something worries me, Naruto is not smart enough to figure out the direct connection between tree climbing and water walking. This does not add up, some fact is still obscured, contemplated Kakashi. Naruto smiled. "Yup, I've already mastered water walking and I've got some other things I want to master. That is why I am going to train," he said joyfully. "Hey, I'm actually not lying. Why do you guys bother to try so hard? No matter how hard you train, you're still no match for Gata's men," cried Inari. "No matter what glorious claims you make or hard you work when facing the strong, the weak will only end up getting killed." "Whatever, kid, just give up, I'm not going to listen to you," said Naruto. "I'd hate to be like you. What do you know about me?" he screamed. "You're always clowning around and acting cheerful, you don't know how hard life can be." Naruto almost completely lost control at that point. Kakashi felt a rise in Naruto's chakra and flinched a little, but relaxed when it had calmed down. "So, you think it's okay for you to pose as the star of a tragedy and cry all day? Just keep crying forever, you idiot. You little sissy. Complaining about a hard life, Naruto sneered. Naruto! You've said enough, reprimanded Sakura. Shut up. You don't know anything either, so stay out the conversation. He turned and walked away, disappearing in the forest. Once far away from Tazuna's house, Naruto finally released the hold over his chakra and vented his rage on the section of the forest, leaving it bare of any sort of vegetation. That fucking kid! Who the hell does he think he is? He loses a guy that has been his father for a year or two and thinks he can cry about his whole life, while he still has a mother and a grandfather that love him and care about him. Stupid weak human, he said in disgust. Naruto was breathing hard now and felt half of his chakra supply gone, but he also felt very much at ease, much more so than he had in a long time. Kit, no more Suiton training tonight. I want you to run through the taijutsu exercises. Also add your current anger, but control it so that it adds to your power, not your insanity. I understand, Q. Naruto trained for the rest of the night, falling asleep early in the morning when the eastern sky was just turning from black to dark blue. He had only slept for a couple of hours when he felt someone he didn't know reaching for him. Naruto immediately jumped up and caught the person's hand before they could attempt anything. Naruto relaxed considerably when he saw that the person before him was a woman with long black hair. You'll catch a cold sleeping in a place like this, she said kindly. Who are you? What are you doing out here? Asked Naruto. Suppressed chakra, but slightly familiar for some reason. I'm collecting medical herbs for my friend, she replied. This early in the morning? You too, what are you doing here so early? Was the questioning reply. She's hiding something, by avoiding my question and putting up her own instead. Naruto decided to play this game for a little while. I'm training. You are a ninja, aren't you? Yup. Why are you training? She asked slowly. Because I need to become stronger, explained Naruto. Damn it, she hides her chakra very well. If only she would flash a bit more of it, then I might be able to remember. Why is that? Because I'm going to become the best ninja and make everyone acknowledge my strength. Is that for someone else or for yourself? I'm a little bit of both, slowly answered Naruto. Do you have someone that is important to you? She paused and bent her head down as the memories flooded her mind. Unknowingly, it also lessened her chakra suppression. That's all it took for Naruto to figure out who this was. Him. That masked hunter Nin. When a person has something important to protect, that's when they can become truly strong. Naruto smiled genuinely as an image flashed in his mind. Yeah, I understand very well. Then you will become strong, he said and got up to walk away. Let's meet again somewhere. Oh, and also, I'm a boy. I know, came the calculated answer. We'll meet again within several days. The boy looked over his shoulder with serious eyes and nodded before continuing on. Naruto fell back onto the ground and went back to sleep. Naruto was once again in front of the Kyuubi's prison, but this time the water was gone. He slowly walked up to the bars and peered in, seeing nothing but darkness. Kyu? He called. There was no response. Instead, he saw a small red light that kept getting bigger and bigger. The light was actually a person, a woman. She was wearing a long black dress. Victorian style, except that it was strapless and the sleeves were more kimono-like. 9 soft, fluffy orange tails swayed behind her, and she elegantly walked toward Naruto. She had her fire-orange hair put up with 9 golden hairpins, and she wore brilliant diamond earrings. Her lips were a deep red color, and her animalistic red eyes were glowing. Yes, Naruto-kun, she said sweetly. She had heard everything Naruto and the hunter Nin had spoken of and had also seen the image that flashed in Naruto's mind. I'm glad I'm that important to you. Good thing we found him, said Kakashi. He seems to have pushed his body to the limit, and probably won't be able to move today. Kakashi, Sasuke, and Sakura set off for the bridge, leaving Naruto to rest in Tazuna's house. Kakashi had found Naruto about an hour earlier when he had been sneaking around the forest to see what kind of exercises Naruto was doing. The smile on Naruto's face, when Kakashi had found him, clearly indicated that he was having a very good dream. Naruto's eyes cracked open slowly, at first, then suddenly flew open when his sleepy mind realized that there was a ceiling above him, instead of sky. Naruto quickly figured that someone must have found him and brought him back to Tazuna's house, and judging from the rolled-up futons, his team had already left. Naruto got up and slid open the door. Looking around, he spotted Tazuna's daughter. Hey, where is everyone? Oh, Naruto, you're already awake, she smiled. Sensei said you should rest. So I take it they left without me. Well, that's fine. Any chance I could get breakfast? Asked Naruto. Sure, I'll make you some right now. Naruto thanked her and went back to his room to change, giving little thought to rest and much to training. Suddenly the house rumbled and Naruto distinctly picked out the sound of swords being unsheathed. Naruto peeked through a small hole in the door, thinking, two wannabe samurai that obviously don't know how to use a door. He sighed, why did he constantly have idiots to deal with? Oh hey, Inari actually didn't run away and stood up for his mom even if it took him a while, but at least they are out of the house now. Naruto jumped out the window and swam under the dock until he was right below the samurai. He made a few hand seals, Suiton, dual column no jutsu, he whispered. The water on either side of Naruto swirled, and as Naruto raised his arms, 2 columns of water rose up to in an arc shape. When his arms were halfway up, Naruto quickly brought them together in a clap above his head. As expected, the samurai heard the clap and looked down. Meanwhile, the 2 water columns closed in on the samurai and Tazuna's daughter from both sides. The samurai, being distracted by Naruto's clap, didn't see the columns until it was too late. Naruto had prepared to jump through the dock to get Tazuna's daughter out of harm's way, but stopped himself when he saw Inari jump and tackle his mom so that the jutsu wouldn't hit her. The samurai weren't quite so lucky and got knocked out by the water. Naruto quickly tied up the 2 samurai and ran off to the bridge to help out his team. No rest for me, he grumbled. Sasuke is no match for that hunter Nin, Sharingan or no Sharingan. Meaning I have to do everything again. Oh shut up, Kit! Finally a strong opponent, and you're complaining. The bridge. Tazuna, Kakashi, Sasuke, and Sakura arrived at the bridge to find almost all the workers knocked out. What happened? Asked Tazuna. AM monster, whispered the only conscious worker, before passing out. The mist instantly started gathering around them. Here they come, shouted Kakashi. Sasuke and Sakura immediately drew their kunai and stood back to back with each other. Long time no see, Kakashi, said a familiar voice in the mist. I see you're still with those brats. One of them is shaking, poor guy, laughed Zabuza. 10 Zabuza suddenly appeared from the mist and surrounded the little group. I'm shaking from excitement, corrected Sasuke and quickly destroyed all of Zabuza's water clones. So, he saw through the water clones, the brat has grown. It looks like a rival has appeared at Haku? It does indeed, answered the same hunter Nin that had rescued Zabuza the week before. He was now standing slightly behind his master. That masked boy is obviously Zabuza's comrade, said Kakashi. I'll fight him, declared Sasuke. Tricking us with that stupid act, I hate bastards like that the most. An impressive young man, commented Haku. Even though Mizu Bunshins only have 1/10 the strength of the original. But we have the first advantage, replied Zabuza. Go! Haku attacked Sasuke with a spinning move that the Uchiha managed to block. Haku's needles and Sasuke's kunai clashed several times, Sasuke keeping up with Haku's speed each time. I don't want to have to kill you, but you won't stand down, will you? Asked Haku politely. Don't be foolish, was the reply. But you won't be able to keep up anymore, since I have already gained 2 advantages. 2. The first is the water on the ground, and the second is that one of your hands has been occupied, answered Haku and started doing one-handed seals, astonishing both Sasuke and Kakashi. Special jutsu, flying water needles, thought Haku as he stomped his foot. Water went flying everywhere and soon materialized into hundreds of needles all aimed at Sasuke. Sasuke concentrated on the training that they had been doing and transferred enough chakra to his legs to be able to jump out the striking zone. While in the air, Sasuke launched several shuriken down at Haku, which the mist Nin dodged. Haku was surprised when Sasuke appeared behind him and slashed with his kunai. Haku ducked under it, but was kicked right in the face. I can't have you underestimating my team by calling them brats, said Kakashi. Sasuke is Konoha's #1 rookie, Sakura is the brightest in the village, and the other is the show-off, hyperactive, #1 loudest ninja in the village. Haku, do you realize that at this rate we will be driven back? Asked Zabuza. Yeah, and we can't have that, he said as he put his hand into a strange seal. Special jutsu, demonic ice mirrors. Haku's ice mirrors quickly surrounded Sasuke. Once the jutsu was done, Haku stepped into one of the mirrors and instantly his image appeared in all of them. Damn it! Kakashi leaped off to help Sasuke, but Zabuza got in his way and he realized that he would have to fight with Zabuza or else Zabuza would just kill Sakura and Tazuna. Well, shall I begin and show you my real speed? Asked the Ice Nin, right before he threw several hundred needles at Sasuke, from all different directions. Tazuna-san, I'm sorry, but I need to leave you for a second, said Sakura as she ran slightly to the side and threw Sasuke her kunai. However, it never made it there, as Haku reached out of his mirror and blocked it. A shuriken appeared out of nowhere and knocked Haku out of the mirror. Who the hell? Naruto had been sitting on railing of the bridge, hidden in the mist, watching the proceedings. He decided he wouldn't interfere until Sasuke got himself into too deep a hole. Demonic ice mirrors, a bloodline technique, no doubt about it, thought Naruto gravely. He faintly heard Kyuubi murmur something about supremacy in a sad tone, but had ignored it. Naruto knew that the best way to defeat it would be to attack from the outside while Sasuke attacked from the inside, but that would be considered smart. Not only that, but he knew that Kakashi would soon be too distracted fighting Zabuza to pay attention to him, and then he might be able to try out one of Kyuubi's jutsus. Kyuubi had taught it to him a long time ago, saying that since it took quite a bit of time to start up, it would mostly be used as a show of power. While it could be considered both an offensive and a defensive technique, it was more offensive than it was defensive. Also, it wouldn't work quite as effectively from the outside of Haku's mirrors. So he would have to play the idiot, get inside the mirrors. Hopefully Sasuke would pass out and then he would be free to do it. I'll probably have to hide the mirrors in the mist, but they will just assume Zabuza did that, so it is of no consequence. Naruto saw his chance and knocked Haku out of his mirror, using the confusion to sneak inside the mirrors, right up to Sasuke. You total moron! If you are a shinobi, why don't you use your head? Why did you come inside the mirrors? Berated Sasuke. Realizing that Naruto wouldn't be much help, Sasuke decided to try and melt the mirrors with a fire technique. You can't melt this ice with that level of fire, said Haku. Fine then, yelled Naruto. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. But before any of Naruto could reach a mirror, they were all destroyed. He's not using Bunshin, because then either water or smoke would show when the copies in the mirrors disappeared, deduced Naruto. Meaning there is still only one of him. Naruto considered what Haku had said about speed and came to the conclusion that the masked boy must be moving between mirrors at an unfathomable speed. He went out of the mirrors to destroy the Kage Bunshin. Why? Because they do pose a threat of some sort. Naruto paused to contemplate, so while not being able to melt, the mirrors can be broken. In that case, my jutsu works perfectly. This jutsu uses the mirror's reflection to transport me, Haku confirmed Naruto's suspicions. From my point of view, you seem to be moving in slow motion. Haku then started talking about how it is difficult for him to become a true shinobi, but that for the sake of his dreams he would be able to destroy his heart and kill other people. Sasuke-kun! Naruto! Don't lose to that guy! Yelled Sakura. No, Sakura, don't egg them on, said Kakashi. They don't yet have the strength to destroy their hearts and kill another person. Of course, a real shinobi cannot come from a peaceful village like yours, taunted Zabuza. Because you cannot gain the most important thing, the experience of killing. Kakashi scowled, sorry, but he reached up for his forehead protector. I'm going to end this instantly. Sharingan again? Is that the best you can do? Zabuza jumped forward and attempted to slash at Kakashi's left eye with a kunai. His efforts were stopped, but he did manage to cut Kakashi's hand, which the copycat used to block. Kakashi lifted by his forehead protector and revealed the Sharingan, but Zabuza just laughed. I have already seen through the trivial system of that eye, ninpu, hidden mist no jutsu. Meanwhile, Naruto and Sasuke were busy deflecting as many of the needles as they could. Out of the corner of his eye, Naruto saw that Zabuza had finally gotten serious with Kakashi. Good, now the mist hides us. If only Sasuke were to be knocked out now, thought Naruto while blocking some more needles. The mist is too thick, so Zabuza shouldn't be able to see either, thought Kakashi. He suddenly felt several projectiles headed his way. He managed to block them all, and caught a glimpse of Zabuza, who had his eyes purposely closed. As I said before, I have already figured out that eye of yours. So to counter it, I make a mist which renders your eye useless, and if I keep my eyes closed I remove the chance of being hypnotized, explained Zabuza after dissecting the theory behind Kakashi's Sharingan. But then you can't see anything either, reasoned Kakashi. Have you forgotten that I am a genius at silent killing? Asked Zabuza. Kakashi paled. He also quickly realized that Zabuza would go for Tazuna, now that Kakashi was handicapped. Thus the copy ninja barely made it in time to shield Tazuna and Sakura with his own body. Zabuza disappeared again after taunting Kakashi. Kakashi narrowed his eyes, as a former member of the ANBU. I'm not just all about copying, I'll show you my own jutsu. Naruto was starting to look like a porcupine. Damn it, I've taken too many needles. The good thing is that Sasuke is taking more than me. That last needle blitzkrieg seems to have taken a lot out of him, thought Naruto as he looked up at Sasuke. Geez, all you do is get in the way, Sasuke slowly said. That's when Naruto noticed that there were needles sticking out of his neck. You idiot! I could have easily taken the hit, shouted Naruto as he watched Sasuke fall on the ground and into fake death. He landed a blow on me and without flinching died to protect you. He is a shinobi that deserves respect, said Haku. Is this your first death of a friend? Haku gently slid back into a mirror. Naruto started chuckling lightly. That soon turned into a full-blown laugh. You really expect me to believe that he is dead? No, I understand perfectly that it is only temporary. Haku's eyes widened. The boy shouldn't be able to know this. However, you don't have to worry about him. Your life is the one at stake now. A surge of chakra erupted from Naruto. All needles that were stuck in him were pushed out and all the cuts healed. Naruto's claws grew out, the whisker marks deepened, and his smile exposed the fangs. Friend? Questioned Naruto as a rough voice with his head bowed. He is at most a teammate. Naruto raised his head to reveal the animalistic slitted red eyes. Haku drew back in shock and slight fear. Naruto snarled and made as if to jump at his opponent, resulting in Haku throwing the needles he had been holding. Naruto simply made a hand movement, as if to shoo away a fly, and the needles were deflected by chakra. Haku shivered lightly from the killer intent radiating from Blonde Boy, before transferring his image to all the mirrors and throwing several dozen needles at the same time. Naruto didn't even bother to block and let the needles hit him. He ran through 24 hand seals in what seemed like an instant, demonic, nine-tailed whirlwind. The needles flew out of him as he released a massive amount of pure red chakra. The chakra looked like there were 9 tails stemming from Naruto's tailbone. These tails fiercely whirled around Naruto. The raw chakra was chipping away at the mirrors and the ground. Suddenly the tails lengthened and whirled outwards, lashing out at the mirrors. Any mirror that was struck by the tail instantly shattered, and considering that the tails were moving in a spiral trajectory, within 5 seconds all of Haku's mirrors were destroyed. Haku dropped down out of a fragment of the topmost mirror, attacking Naruto with as much speed as he could muster. Naruto jumped away very quickly and came back just as fast to grab Haku by the wrist. Naruto's grip kept tightening, even after his claws had drawn blood from the masked ninja. He felt bones break and heard Haku scream. Naruto then pulled back his right fist, transferring chakra to it, and punched Haku right in the face, never letting go of the Hunter Nin's wrist. Haku flew and tumbled then on the ground, leaving a splash of blood at every tumble, until he came to stop over 50 feet away. He shakily got up, even as his mask slid from his face and his vision blurred. Zabuza-san, I cannot defeat this boy, he thought as he saw Naruto charge him. As Naruto got closer, he saw that the masked ninja had indeed been the one he had met in the forest. Naruto jumped at Haku and slashed at his face with a clawed hand. Haku's left cheek was bleeding from 2 long cuts, his left eye was closed with blood gushing out of it, and the left side of his forehead had another long cut across it. Haku wasn't even given enough time to scream before a rough punch was delivered to his abdomen, making him cough out blood. His nose was immediately broken by Naruto's knee. I told you we would meet again, Haku. Naruto licked the blood off his claws. And unlike you, it is very easy for me to be a real shinobi. He grasped onto Haku's throat with his clawed hand. Why did you not do so from the beginning? Said Haku in between coughs. Secrecy, simply stated Naruto. I don't want them to know just how strong their demon is. You understand what I mean, I can tell by your eyes you do. Haku looked down sadly as he remembered killing his father. If only we weren't hated and rejected, we would have actually done good for the people we must otherwise kill. Naruto laughed once more. Those idiots behind me can easily be manipulated to think that I'm stupid and weak. How will I explain killing you, you ask? That's also simple, Naruto grinned. All I have to do is say that I saw Sasuke dying and then went berserk and don't remember much about anything else. Kakashi will attribute it to the Kyuubi, Sakura will be too hung up on Sasuke to even notice, and the arrogant bastard himself will just be brooding that I defeated an opponent that he could not. And your precious person? Asked Haku, already guessing the answer. Naruto patted his stomach, the same as you, a demon. Haku nodded in understanding. His eyes suddenly flickered up and looked behind Naruto and off into the mist. I know, you want to go help Zabuza, right? Haku nodded. Naruto thought a moment, he's still going to die, you know. Haku nodded once more, but his eyes held a strong determination. Naruto's grip loosened. Be thankful that I understand you and your feelings so well. Haku bowed his head to Naruto. I am very grateful. Haku disappeared in the blink of an eye to save Zabuza. Only one reason why I let him go, muttered Naruto under this breath. I wouldn't want to die with regret in my heart either. Naruto launched himself after Haku, knowing quite well that the boy was already dead, but there was still one more opponent on whose life he may feast on. Naruto arrived to find Haku impaled through the heart by Kakashi's hand, blood spraying out everywhere. Sakura looked like was about to throw up. Kakashi was horrified that his technique had actually hit the masked boy. Zabuza was stunned by what his student had done for him. There was a scroll lying several feet behind Kakashi that had several needles embedded into it, and the ground around Zabuza had been torn apart. A Doton Jutsu? Wondered Naruto. No, a summoning tracking jutsu, explained the fox. With dogs, she seethed. Naruto felt the hair on the back of his neck stand up, and even more demonic chakra leaked into his system. The fanged boy snarled and launched himself at a weakened Zabuza, who was too preoccupied with Kakashi to notice. Just as Zabuza had swung his sword, Naruto latched a clawed hand around the missing Nin's throat and, sinking his claws in, ripped out all he could. Blood sprayed forward in a jet. Zabuza's eyes were forever frozen in shock and fear, and Naruto was holding some blood-covered object in his right hand. Sakura couldn't take it anymore and threw up instantly. Kakashi was staring at Naruto in awe and fear. Awe that Naruto could so easily take down Zabuza, and fear that the Kyuubi had taken over and that now they were all as good as dead. Zabuza's body fell to the ground with a solid thud. Naruto threw Zabuza's voice box down onto the corpse and almost instantly fell to one knee as the Kyuubi's chakra receded. The boy stayed crouched down like that, panting, for several minutes. Kyuubi's chakra always took a toll on his body. Kyuubi had said that when Naruto was fast and strong enough on his own, this stress would be nothing. However, it seemed that every time Naruto used her chakra, he still wasn't strong enough, wasn't fast enough. Naruto realized that he still had quite a ways to go before he could use the demonic chakra without straining all the nerves and muscles in his body. Not only that, but the demonic chakra, while it was able to mix in small amounts with his human chakra, did quite a number on his chakra pathways if released in large amounts. You also use the chakra for a more prolonged period, each time, reminded Kyuubi. When it truly comes down to it, human chakra pathways are not meant to conduct demonic chakra. Naruto vaguely registered that Gatta had come with a huge army of men to kill all of them. He didn't even notice as Sakura ran past him to check up on Sasuke. He did smirk a bit when he heard her scream about Haku's torn-off arm lying next to Sasuke. He was slightly more aware when Inari brought an equally big army to fight against Gato. By the time the two armies were getting ready to attack, Naruto had more or less completely regained control of his body. Kakashi was still trying to figure out how to fight so many people while they all had so little chakra. Naruto decided to cut to the chase and do as the Kyuubi had suggested a while ago, kill the roots. Or in this case, there was only one root. Naruto pulled together his remaining chakra, or at least as much as he could get a hold of, and pressed his palms into the ground. This will be the end of my chakra, but it'll solve the problem. Naruto lightly taped his Doton supremacy so he wouldn't need to do hand seals, since his mind was already swimming. Doton, explosion, he practically mouthed. The ground under Gato shook slightly, but he didn't understand, and thus didn't move. Within a second the ground beneath Gato exploded, tearing the old man to pieces. Several of his limbs could be seen lying around on the bridge while most had actually fallen into the waters below. Kakashi looked back in amazement, just in time to see Naruto fall to ground unconscious. Gato's army was bewildered. They had just lost their commander, and had no idea what they should actually do. On the one hand they could plow over the shinobi and villagers before them. But the heart of the matter was, what then? Their source of money was gone, so why should they risk getting hurt if there was no reward? They knew quite well how poor the wave country was. There would be nothing of value for them to steal. Using their hesitation, Kakashi decided to scare them a little. Bunshin no Jutsu, he whispered and made at least 50 copies of himself. The bandits instantly figured out the answer to their problem: run. So they did, leaving the villagers to shout in victory. Kakashi made his way over to Naruto and made sure that he was still alive. His feelings must have resonated with the fox, and thus the seal weakened a little to let the chakra out, reasoned the jounin. Since his fight with Haku hadn't ended, he rushed after the masked boy and killed the first person that got in his way. Sasuke and Sakura had also made their way over to the unconscious blonde. Is he going to be alright? Asked Sakura. Yes, this time he went over the limit, reassured Kakashi. Did Naruto kill Haku? Suddenly asked Sasuke. No, Kakashi-sensei killed Haku, replied Sakura. But Naruto did kill Zabuza right after. She paled just remembering the sight. Sasuke stared at Naruto with his eyes wide open. Not only did he somehow break out of that jutsu, but also managed to kill Zabuza. Damn it! Why am I still so weak? Sasuke scowled. Kakashi looked over at the Uchiha with a worried face as he slid down his forehead protector. He must be berating himself for not being able to defeat Haku. The jounin thought about saying something, but in the end decided to keep quiet. Kakashi looked back down at Naruto. How did he know that Doton Jutsu? Wondered Kakashi as he picked up the sleeping boy. There was no one else that could have done it, right? Sasuke? No, he was just getting up from a temporary death. I'll have to ask Naruto about this later. Sensei, is Naruto really going to be alright? Asked Sakura again. Of course he is. Well, it's just that you were looking at him with such a serious expression. No, don't worry, Naruto is going to be just fine, assured Kakashi. He should be up and running again in a day or two. However, it was not to be how Kakashi had predicted. Naruto slept through the next 2 days straight, only waking up on the morning of the third day, mumbling about his aching head. Naruto, you should not waste chakra as such, lightly scolded Sakura. At least I actually do some work, you fucking whore, was the first thought in Naruto's mind. At least we won, he said with a smile. How would you know we won, Dobe? You were already unconscious. Because we're all alive, replied Naruto calmly. No use getting angry at the bastard, it would only make my headache worse. Naruto ate his breakfast in bed and fell asleep for another 6 hours. When he woke up again, his headache was gone and he could easily get up and stroll around the house. He found out that Sasuke had gone out to train, with Sakura in tow, and that Kakashi was guarding Tazuna on the bridge. You should go train too. Oh come on, I just woke up from chakra exhaustion, whined Naruto. Exactly, if you had trained more before, then your body would have handled my chakra better and you wouldn't have suffered from chakra exhaustion, she reasoned in a tone that allowed for no argument. From now on, 90% of your training will be physically based, and the rest will be to catch up your Suiton to your Doton. But I don't have supremacy in Suiton. Then you need to get supremacy in Suiton. Naruto grumbled and cursed, while the fox just smiled. Cursing at me won't make the training on you any easier, she taunted. Naruto grabbed a quick lunch and went out for a run. He didn't return until after nightfall, when they were all having dinner. Naruto, you know you shouldn't push yourself too much after just recovering, suggested Kakashi. I'm not, I just went for a light run, explained the blonde. Inari tells me that you left over 4 hours ago. Yeah, that sounds about right, confirmed Naruto. You went out a 4 hours run when you had just woke up after 2.5 days? Shouted Sakura. What the hell is wrong with you? I'm too weak, said Naruto harshly. That's what's wrong with me. But you managed to. Naruto cut her off. Managed to kill Zabuza? Yeah, but then Gata's army would have killed me. I need to train, so that I can raise my limits and not pass out on a still active battlefield. Naruto finished his dinner and turned to leave. I'm turning in for the night. Don't want to overexercise my body, after all. They continued their dinner in silence after Naruto had left. What is wrong with him? Finally asked Sakura. Don't worry, he is just having a difficult time after his first kill, assumed Kakashi. It happens to everyone. Kakashi was pretty sure that Naruto realized that it wasn't he who had killed Zabuza, and that was probably why he was so frustrated. He feels weak because he could not hold the demon in, thought Kakashi. I still need to talk to him about that technique he did. Kakashi decided not to think about it anymore and instead focused on explaining the concept of water walking to Sasuke. The next day, Kakashi had sent Sasuke to guard Tazuna, while he trained Sakura to water walk. Once he had explained the basic concept and showed her how to do it, he went to talk with Naruto. Naruto, could I have a word with you? Kakashi had caught him right before he could leave for his morning exercises. He wants to ask about the bridge incident, that much is obvious, concluded Naruto. But is it better to talk to him here or in the forest? If they talked here, Kakashi couldn't say much about the Kyuubi. Naruto wondered if he would need to use that topic to steer away from the Jutsu conversation. Alright, sure, care to join me on my run? Offered Naruto. Kakashi agreed and they set off. So, what did you want to talk about? Asked Naruto once Tazuna's house was out of sight. I'm interested in that jutsu that you used on Gato. Kakashi got straight to the point. Oh, that, Naruto laughed. I found a scroll for that thing while carrying out a prank on the Hokage. At the time I just thought it'd be funny if I took that too. Naruto answered as lightheartedly as he could. And the Hokage never asked you about the scroll? Questioned Kakashi. Nope, quickly answered Naruto. Maybe it wasn't his. And is that what you had been practicing last week when you kept going off alone? Thank you, Sensei, for that wonderful excuse, Naruto smiled. Yeah, it paid off, huh? Why didn't you tell anyone else about it? Wondered Kakashi. You could have taught it to Sasuke and Sakura too. And have that bastard Sasuke steal it from me, yelled Naruto. No thanks. You're a team, you're supposed to share, reasoned Kakashi. Oh, then teach me that fire jutsu that Sasuke does, he countered. Ah, sure. After this mission is over, negotiated Kakashi. There was a more important topic he had to discuss. Naruto, I also wanted to talk about the Kyuubi. This made Naruto stop in mid-step. What is it? The boy asked cautiously. I just want you to know that it's not your fault that Zabuza died, said Kakashi. How do you figure that? I killed him! Shouted Naruto. I felt the churka that surrounded you when you did so, and it was the foxes, reasoned Kakashi. You don't have to feel guilty for Zabuza's death. Naruto looked down at the ground. Unlike you, I could see it happening through my own eyes, he said sadly. He suddenly looked up at Kakashi with very sad and at the same time angry eyes. Don't say it like it's some distant event that doesn't concern my life at all. Naruto ran off. Naruto, I didn't mean it like that, said Kakashi slowly, but didn't chase after the boy. Naruto continued to be a recluse for the next 5 days, using that fallout with Kakashi as an excuse to stay away from his team. He did, however, show up for Haku and Zabuza burial, if only to mutter a couple words and leave again. The bridge was completed a month later and Team 7 was free to return back to Konoha. Goodbyes were said and the 4 shinobi departed from the Wave Country. They arrived back in Konoha the next day. Kakashi disappeared instantly and Naruto also quickly walked away, not being able to tolerate Sakura anymore. For the next couple weeks, Team 7's missions returned to their normal D-rank level. This of course pissed off both Naruto and Sasuke, but only one of them chose to express so vocally. Hey Kakashi-sensei, how come all our missions lately have been so boring? Asked Naruto. I want something better to put my skills to use. Kakashi just brushed him off. Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. Of course, Naruto had started sending clones in his place as soon as he figured out that the Hokage wasn't going to give them any good missions again. Meanwhile, the real Naruto was building up his physical strength. The Kyuubi was now pushing the boy to his limits every day. She did have to give him a bit more extra chakra, so that he could recover faster, but it was well worth it. Today was actually the only day of the week when Naruto would go and meet with his team. He figured that as long as he showed up once a week, his lazy teacher wouldn't bitch at him for not being present. Okay, that's it for today, announced Kakashi and jumped away. Naruto watched as Sakura was harshly rejected by the Uchiha, before he strolled away, hoping to have enough time to get a good workout. He was so lost in his thoughts that he didn't notice the 2 people standing in front of him, until he bumped into one of them. Sorry about that, he mumbled and turned to walk off. That hurt, you damn brat, said the stranger, as he grabbed Naruto by the collar. Naruto looked up and saw a completely black-clothed man, with purple face paint, some sort of wrapped-up package on his back, and a hidden sand forehead protector. Hey, you're a guest here, Naruto said coldly. Act like it. Why, you little insolent brat? Hey, don't do this, his companion spoke up. We'll get yelled at later. She's obviously the smarter of the 2, thought Naruto. Damn fat ass, let me go, Naruto said in a very calm, but menacing tone. He sounds like Gaara, frowned Kankuro. Nah, must be my paranoia acting up. Let's play a little before the boss comes, said Kankuro as he threw Naruto into the nearby fence. However, while in the air, Naruto twisted around and landed with his feet sticking onto the fence. Naruto looked up the guy in front of him and smirked. He jumped off the fence with such speed that neither Sand Shinobi could follow him. Naruto reappeared right in front of Kankuro and punched him square in the face, sending the Sand Nin tumbling along the street. Kankuro quickly stood up and unbound the package on his back. You're going to use Karasu? Questioned his companion. Kankuro, stop it! Commanded a voice from the nearest tree. You're an embarrassment to our village. Gigi Gaara, stuttered Kankuro, faking a smile. Naruto calmly looked up into the tree to find a boy standing upside down with a very large gourd strapped to his back. What is it with Sand Nin and strapping things to their back? The girls' fan I can understand. Losing yourself in a fight, how pathetic. Why do you think we came to the Leaf Village? Interrogated Gaara. Listen, Gaara, he started it, he was cut off. Shut up, I'll kill you. Kankuro shook and started babbling out apologies. Very well directed killer intent, praised Naruto. And he's completely serious. Very good for his age. Sorry to you, said Gaara. His eyes locked with Naruto for a moment, before he teleported using sand. Being able to move that fast and leaving Kankuro powerless. He's good, thought the Sand Shinobi. His eyes are like mine, Naruto grew serious. And he somehow feels weird. What's your name? asked Naruto. The whole sand team turned around. Who, me? Asked the guy with the face paint. No, the one with the gourd. Gaara looked back and his eyes locked with Naruto's again. Gaara of the desert, he said without even blinking. I'm also interested in your name. It was more of a command than a question. Naruto didn't break eye contact. Uzumaki Naruto. They stared at each other for a moment. Gaara had already tried to scare Naruto away with his killer intent, but it didn't seem to affect the leaf shinobi at all. Gaara then turned around and motioned his team to leave. They are obviously here for the Chunin exam, concluded Naruto. I wonder if Kakashi will nominate us? The prospect of meeting and fighting Gaara in the exam was intriguing, to say the least. Hey brat, whose lingering killer intent is that? Asked the Kyuubi in a semi-angry tone. Lingering, you say? Naruto considered it, and did in fact notice that there were minute traces of it in the surroundings. It was some boy, Gaara of the desert he said his name was. The desert you say, the Kyuubi started contemplating. What is it, Q? I'm sure you must have noticed that the boy's aura was slightly familiar, maybe? Yes, as a matter of fact, I did. Well, I'll need more proof to finalize my hypothesis, but I'm fairly sure that you just met the container of Shikaku, she explained. Naruto's eyes widened. That may be interesting and all, but I have more pressing issues right now. Like why you aren't at the training grounds? She seethed. Naruto literally jumped and ran. The next morning, Team 7 was waiting on the bridge again. Naruto had been hoping all day that Kakashi would nominate them for the Chunin exam. Hence, he decided to come in person today. He did, of course, sleep in an extra hour so that the wait wasn't quite so agonizing. Morning, people. Kakashi announced his presence. Today, I got lost on the road of life. Naruto didn't even bother looking up. He was just plain out tired of his teacher's excuses. This may be sudden, but I've nominated you guys for the Chunin selection exam. Kakashi-sensei, what is the Chunin selection exam? Asked Sakura. Why does she not know anything important? Wondered Naruto. If I asked her about some irrelevant war, she would probably give me all the details. But who the hell cares about that stuff? Naruto waited patiently while Kakashi explained it. Naruto almost ripped the application when grabbing it from Jounin once he had finished explaining. Thank you, Kakashi-sensei, he yelled. Though this is just a nomination, explained Kakashi. Whether to take the exam is up to each of you. Those who wish to take it should sign those papers and turn them in at room 301/4 in the afternoon tomorrow. With that, the copy ninja was gone. Even if he says that the Chunin exam must be taken as a team, so if one of us chooses not to go, then that would instantly disqualify the rest. Naruto knew that Sakura was having doubts. She better show up or I will make sure that she doesn't live to see the next Chunin exam. The day of the Chunin selection exam came too quickly for some and not quickly enough for others. Sakura barely got any sleep, trying to decide whether or not to participate in the exam. Naruto and Sasuke, on the other hand, couldn't wait to test their strength. Naruto approached the Ninja Academy and noticed that both his teammates were waiting for him. So Sakura decided to take the test. Naruto pouted somewhat. I was actually looking forward to killing her. Naruto said good morning to both, taking note of Sakura's lack of energy. She's scared. Team 7 proceeded inside to find a large group of genin blocking the second-floor staircase. Making their way through the crowd, Team 7 saw a boy in a green jumpsuit be pushed down to the floor by a couple of Chunin that were masking themselves in genjutsu. Please let us through, said the boy's teammate. She was promptly smacked down as well. Pathetic, frowned Naruto. Can't these idiots count? We are on the second floor. He sighed and motioned for his team to continue up the stairs. You will let me pass through, and also remove this genjutsu, said Sasuke. I'm going to the third floor. There were murmurings in the crowd. It seemed that no one had noticed the genjutsu except Team 7. So you noticed, said one of the guys blocking the door. Sakura, you must have noticed too, right? Asked Sasuke arrogantly. Your analytical ability and genjutsu know-how is the most improved on our team. Sasuke-kun complimented me, smiled Sakura. Thank you. Of course, I noticed a while ago, she answered proudly. Since this is the second floor. Not bad, but all you did was see through it, said the Chunin in disguise and attacked Sasuke. However, the boy in the green jumpsuit stopped their kicks with his bare hands. He's fast, thought Naruto. He was able to see both kicks and slide in between them. What happened to the plan? Asked a white-eyed boy. You're the one who said we shouldn't draw attention to ourselves. So he and his team were faking before, deduced Naruto. Good strategy. I was hoping Sasuke would be smart enough to utilize it too. Well, the green-clad boy walked over to Sakura. Hi. My name is Rock Lee, and yours is Sakura, he said cheerfully. Let's go out together. I'll protect you until I die. Naruto barely managed to hold back an exasperated sigh. What an idiot. No way, said Sakura slowly. You're lame. Lee hung his head dejectedly. Hey you, what's your name? Asked the white-eyed boy. When you want to learn someone's name, you should give yours first, said Sasuke. The white-eyed boy frowned. You're a rookie, right? How old are you? I don't have to answer your questions. Sasuke turned around and started walking away. Man, there's a bunch of monsters here, he thought. Naruto, Sasuke-kun, let's go. Sakura quickly pulled her teammates away. Come on, Lee, what are you doing? Asked the girl on his team. You guys go ahead, I need to test something out. Lee followed Team 7. Hey you, with the dark eyes, will you fight me right here? A fight? Right now? Asked Sasuke, confused. Yes, Lee jumped down from the balcony. My name is Rock Lee. When you want to know a person's name, you introduce yourself first, right? Uchiha Sasuke, was the calm response. So? What of it? I want to test my techniques against the offspring of the Genius clan. Plus, Lee looked over at Sakura and started blowing kisses her way. Naruto just leaned on a post and watched the idiocy unfold, wondering if all Leaf Shinobi were that stupid. Unlike Sasuke, Naruto knew that Lee had not used chakra when catching Sasuke's kick. Because of that, Naruto knew that Sasuke would not be able to beat Lee. Well, the Uchiha deserves a good beating anyway. Challenging me knowing the Uchiha name. Frankly, you are a fool, said Sasuke arrogantly. You're about to learn what this name means, thick brows. Sasuke charged straight at the green-clad genin. The Uchiha punched, but Lee evaded and went to kick Sasuke in the head. Sasuke ducked, but instantly saw another kick coming his way. He knew he couldn't dodge, so he opted to block. However, Lee quickly slipped through the Uchiha's defenses and kicked him in the face, sending him flying backwards. Sasuke instantly assumed that move was either ninjutsu or genjutsu. Fine, this gives me a chance to practice it, said the Uchiha and activated his Sharingan. Sakura was amazed. She obviously didn't know what the Uchiha clan was famous for. Naruto kept watching the battle, already knowing the outcome, but still enjoying being able to perfectly distinguish Lee's moves. He's fast, but he's not that fast. Naruto watched as Sakura was getting giddy, thinking that Sasuke had absolutely no chance of losing now. Rock Lee was simply standing in his normal stance, his left arm behind his back and his right arm out in front of him, bent at a 90-degree angle, as if beckoning his opponent to attack. As soon as Sasuke was within striking distance, Lee disappeared, causing the Uchiha to hesitate. Lee reappeared right below Sasuke and kicked him in the chin, sending him flying through the air. Naruto narrowed his eyes. These are high-level taijutsu techniques. I'd have to go all out with ninjutsu and genjutsu to be able to beat him. My techniques are either ninjutsu nor genjutsu, announced Lee. Shadow Leaf Dance. Lee appeared right below Sasuke. My techniques are simply taijutsu, Sasuke-kun. Naruto nodded in understanding. They say that the Sharingan has the ability to reveal all types of nin, gen, and taijutsu. It is true that by reading ninjutsu and genjutsu, which need chakra to be raised and seals to be performed, you get an advantage through the Sharingan. However, taijutsu is a little different. Even if you can read my movements with your eyes, your body is not fast enough to react to my taijutsu. Agreed Naruto. That and Sasuke doesn't have the full Sharingan. Naruto was suddenly aware of another presence on the far side of the room. He saw Lee start to unwrap his bandages, but before he could do anything with them, they were pinned to the wall with a pinwheel. That's enough, Lee, yelled a voice from the far side of the room. Naruto turned his head to find a turtle. Summoning a Jounin has joined us, thought Naruto. Lee was pinned to the wall, causing his technique to fail, and Sakura made it in time to catch Sasuke before he hit the floor. So you were watching, said Lee guiltily. That technique is forbidden. The turtle continued lecturing. I'm sorry, but I wasn't planning on using the other one, said Lee, trying to alleviate some of the tension. Where's the Jounin? Naruto kept trying to locale the Jounin's chakra signature, while not giving away his own. He ignored the turtle as it continued lecturing the boy about showing off special techniques. Are you prepared to pay? Asked the turtle. Lee nodded. Then here comes Guy-sensei. A cloud of smoke erupted on top of the turtle, and another guy in a green jumpsuit appeared that looked exactly like Lee except older. You guys are the epitome of adolescence, he yelled as his greeting. Naruto was at a loss for words, along with the rest of his team. Super thick and super faggy, being the only things that came to mind. The Jounin then motioned Lee to come near him, and then promptly punched him in the far wall. He beats the crap out of his student, then they both cry and hug like Naruto didn't really know what. All he knew was that they needed to leave while those two were distracted. Guys, let's leave, offered Naruto. His teammates slowly nodded and started up the stairs. Guy took a break from lecturing Lee, and noticed the other kids were Kakashi's team. My eternal rival, thought Guy. Hey you guys, how's Kakashi doing? He asked. Damn it, we were caught, cursed Naruto. You know him? Asked Sakura politely. Know him? Guy suddenly disappeared. Naruto's senses instantly went on overdrive, and he jumped forward into a fighting stance at the same time that Guy appeared right behind them. People refer to us as eternal rival, announced the weird jounin. He instantly noticed that Naruto had jumped away. This boy, how did he know? Wondered Guy. Naruto cursed as he slowly walked back to join his team. He noticed the looks that everyone was giving him. He really hadn't meant to attract that much attention to himself. Guy made a note to ask Kakashi about it, but skipped forward to brag about how he was better than Kakashi. He's faster, I'll give him that, thought Naruto. But I wonder how a well-developed and trained Sharingan would do against him. You guys and Lee should head over to the classroom, ordered Guy and threw a kunai to knock out the pinwheel holding Lee's bandage. Sasuke, I lied before, confessed Lee. The strongest Leaf Genin is on my team, and I entered this to defeat him, but you are also one of my targets. Be prepared during the examination, cried Lee as he jumped up to the railing and walked away. Sasuke shook in anger. Next time, I'll definitely beat him. You saw his hand too, didn't you? Asked Naruto. That thick-browed guy must have trained really hard, every day, more than you. That's all it is. Sasuke smirked. This is getting fun. Yup, agreed Naruto and Sakura. The team made their way to room 301 and noticed that Kakashi was waiting for them in front of the door. Oh, so Sakura came too. Now we can properly take the exam. What do you mean? Asked Sakura. The truth is that this test can only be taken by teams of 3, explained Kakashi. Something you neglected to mention, said Naruto offhandedly. I'm surprised you knew, said Kakashi. Naruto smirked. It's amazing how much you can learn while sneaking around the ANBU headquarters to put laxatives in everyone's drinks. You did that, Kakashi practically yelled. Do you know how many people want to kill you? I think it's easier to count how many people don't want to kill me, replied Naruto. Kakashi simply shook his head before continuing with the previous conversation. If I had told you the truth, then you or Sasuke would have pressured Sakura to take the exam, even if she didn't want to. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura walked in through the double doors to be greeted by several hundred genin sitting in the large lecture hall. Whoa! Naruto and Sakura said at the same time. What numbers, they are all taking the exam, thought Sakura. They all look so strong. Suddenly a loud, Sasuke-kun, pierced the silence as Ino leapt onto Sasuke's back saying how she missed him. Ino and Sakura instantly got into an argument about how Sasuke belonged to. So you guys are taking this stupid test too? Asked Shikamaru calmly. Yahoo, I found you, said a boy with a dog on his head. Shikamaru, Chuji, and Kiba, thought Naruto. The people that used to sneak out of Irika's classes with me. Geez, you guys too, lazily said Shikamaru. Seems like all of this year's 9 rookies are taking the exam. Of course, most are from famous bloodlines. I'm sure that had something to do with it, thought Naruto. You seem confident, Kiba. We did a lot of training and won't lose to the likes of you, he said quickly. The blonde snorted in reply. Hey, you guys should be quieter, a voice said. Naruto turned to see an older Leaf Shinobi with gray hair and glasses. The boy walked over to them. You guys are rookies just out of the academy, right? He asked. Screaming like schoolgirls, geez. Naruto agreed with him, but still didn't trust him. There was just something off about him. This isn't a picnic, you know. Who do you think you are? Asked Sasuke smugly. I'm Kabuto, replied the older boy. But instead of that, look behind you. Sakura turned around and adopted a shocked look. Those guys are from the Hidden Rain, they have short tempers. Everyone is nervous about the exam, calm down before you cause a scene. Naruto knew that Kabuto's words held truth in them, but the older shinobi was still frustrating him on some deep level. What the hell is going on? It's as if all my primal instincts are screaming kill him. That's because they are, explained the Kyuubi. My instincts are screaming at you to kill him, because he smells like a snake and I hate snakes, the demon snarled and growled. You know that I can't just maul him, in front of everyone, for that? Yeah, but watch him carefully, suggested the Kyuubi. Maybe even find a way to use your enemy. Naruto nodded. He definitely wouldn't lower his guard around this Kabuto. He sensed the older boy using a chakra suppression technique. The weird part about this was that his chakra levels kept fluctuating. He's probably trying to allow some chakra through, so that the examiners don't think it strange, presumed Naruto. But the percentage that he's choosing to show is not stable enough, and so he can't maintain it properly. Naruto remembered his own lessons about chakra suppression. The Kyuubi has strictly instructed him that in the beginning he should either suppress everything or nothing, because suppressing percentages was several degrees harder. The problem lies in the fact that in order to suppress chakra properly, you have to maintain the suppression percentage the same. If you don't, a well-trained shinobi will notice the fluctuations. Then, you have to consider the use of chakra and the recalculation of percentages based on chakra consumed. But that was much more advanced stuff that wasn't really used in serious battles. When you suppress chakra, you alter its flow. You change how much flows, and most important, how spread out it is over the pathways. Normally chakra flows through a pathway like water through a tube, taking up the full volume of the tube. However, when chakra is suppressed, you often thin out the chakra line and make it stick to the innermost wall, so that to other people the chakra becomes distant, and thus giving the illusion that the chakra reserve is smaller. Now the quantity flowing through the tube and the volume through which you are allowing the chakra to flow are proportional. This proportion is different for each person, but must be maintained if the chakra is to be suppressed successfully. If this proportion isn't preserved, the chakra starts to fluctuate. First, the amount going through increases or decreases, then, the volume increases or decreases. This is a natural occurrence, and there is no simple way to deal with it. Hence, most shinobi just tend to avoid it altogether. Kabuto had obviously calculated how much chakra a genin of his age should have and adjusted his real chakra, without thinking of the consequences, and now he was paying for it. Naruto refocused on the much older genin, who was showing them Nin info cards. They are basically cards that have info burned onto them with chakra, he explained. I have 4 years worth of info here, on over 200 cards. He then showed them a chart with the number of people taking the exam and the breakdown of what country they are from. Do you have cards with information about individuals? Asked Sasuke. Of course, the info isn't perfect, but I do have it, replied Kabuto. Who would you like to see? Rock Lee from the Leaf, said Sasuke. Gaara from the Hidden Sand, requested Naruto. Everyone stared at Naruto, surprised that he knew a foreign shinobi. First, Rock Lee. He's a year older than you guys. Mission history, 20 D rank, and 12 C rank completed. His teacher is Guy, he excels in taijutsu, and the rest is nothing impressive, read off Kabuto. His team did not attend the exam last year, so, like for you guys, this is his first time. Next is Gaara of the Desert. Mission history, 8 C rank and 1 B rank completed. He's a newcomer from a foreign country, so I don't have much info. However, it seems that he returned from all his missions without a scratch. The last fact startled everyone. Exactly how do you know this guy? Asked Sakura. I ran into him a few days ago, explained Naruto. If he is Shikaku's container, then that is not unlikely, commented the Kyuubi with only slight amusement. How will we know? Wondered Naruto. I will have to see him fight. There are many outstanding genin from the hidden villages here to take the exam, said Kabuto. Well, the Hidden Sound is a newly created village, so there isn't much info, but the rest of the hidden villages are filled with talented youngsters. So basically all the people here are Sakura started. Yup. Like Lee and Gaara, they are the top elite genin from the various countries, replied Kabuto. This is going to be fun, thought Naruto. His attention suddenly focused in on the uncertain aura of his female teammate. She's worried, Naruto paused. About me? Oh, I see I'm acting too out of character, not cheerful enough. What should I say? Hey Naruto, don't get so down. Just as Sakura reached to put her hand on his shoulder, Naruto shouted. Who's down? The blonde muttered before adding in a louder voice that he was more excited than anything else. Within the crowd, 3 shinobi were carefully observing the Leaf Nin. The Hidden Sound is a minor village, said one of the Sound Nin. Let's play with them a little bit. Good idea, let's help him add to his data that Hidden Sound shinobi can be quite vicious. The Sound Nin quickly moved through the crowd and attacked Kabuto. The Leaf Genin dodged the thrown kunai, but was instantly attacked by a guy whose head was completely covered in bandages, except for his left eye. Kabuto dodged the punch, but his glasses still shattered and he was on the ground throwing up. But he dodged it? Wondered Sasuke. It probably grazed his nose, offered Shikamaru. Lee, how about that attack? Asked Neji. No problem in seeing the speed, there must be some trick. That thing on his arm, thought Naruto. He made a hand seal before punching Kabuto, meaning that that thing must have emitted a form of chakra and broke the glasses. But that doesn't explain why he threw up. That device on his arm emits sound, informed the Kyuubi. What? From what I can gather, it was two different sound waves. The first one on a frequency to break the glasses and the second on a frequency to mess with his digestive tract. Kyuubi, I'm not a medic, slowly said Naruto. The fox demon sighed. I'll explain later. Suddenly a large cloud of smoke filled the room. Quiet down, you worthless bastards, yelled a rather angry voice. Out of the smoke emerged the Jounin examiner and his helpers. Thanks for waiting. I'm Marino Ibiki, the examiner for the Chunin selection exam's first test. Ibiki had several scars across his face and radiated enough killer intent to make almost everyone scared of him. The hidden sound guys, stop doing as you please before the exam, or I'll fail you. I apologize, this is our first time and we got carried away, one of them responded. Shut up. There will be no fighting without the permission of the examiner. Even if permission is granted, killing your opponent will not be tolerated. Those pigs that disobey me will be failed immediately. Do I make myself clear? He yelled. Naruto noticed that even some of the Chunin examiners were unnerved by Ibiki's aura. Humph, regular human killer intent. We will now start the first test. Instead of your current seating arrangements, you will pick one of these tabs and sit in an assigned seat, explained the examiner. Once they were seated, Ibiki explained the rules of the test, making sure to say that there was no cheating allowed, yet if they were caught cheating, 2 points would be subtracted from their total of 10. If one person fails, then the entire team will fail. You have 1 hour, begin. All the genin quickly turned their papers over and began reading the questions. What the hell, thought Naruto as he looked through the questions. I can't answer even half of these. Hey Q, could you help me out here? I could, but being able to ask your demonic entity is not the point of this examination, she laughed as Naruto frowned. Think about it, kiddo. Naruto grumbled, but decided to evaluate his current situation. He already had 10 points, but would lose 1 for every question he got wrong. That wasn't helping. He would also lose 2 points for cheating. Now that was weird, usually he would be automatically failed for cheating. Naruto activated his advanced hearing, hoping to hear at least someone writing down answers. He heard 3 people that were continuously writing and several that were on and off. He deactivated the ability quickly, since he could only hold it for about half a minute. Weird, you'd think that those 3 people would stop to think about the question longer. Naruto's eyes widened. Unless they already knew the answers. Naruto put his hands into the chakra channeling seal and closed his eyes in concentration. He also briefly activated his advanced hearing again. The ones with the strongest chakra signatures are also the ones who know all the answers. So they want us to cheat, realized Naruto. Good job, boy, and you didn't even need my help, congratulated the Kyuubi. For that, I'll teach you a demonic jutsu. Naruto smiled happily. Demonic mind steal no jutsu. An invisible tendril of chakra makes its way to the enemy and penetrates him/her at the base of the skull. That person's thoughts are then transferred temporarily into your mind. Afterwards you do with them as you please, put them back or simply make them dissipate. Naruto listened in awe. Demonic power was really not something humans could stand against. However, there is a drawback, emphasized the Kyuubi. Your mind will need to straighten itself out after you cancel the jutsu. So always plan to rest for at least 20 minutes after using this jutsu. Naruto considered it to be a fair exchange. 20 minutes for finding out all of the enemy's plans was a pretty sweet deal. Of course, this jutsu could only be used if there was someone to protect him during those 20 minutes, but still a good jutsu. Well, may as well do it so that I have enough time to nap before the end of the test. Naruto slowly did the hand seals that the Kyuubi flashed in his mind and locked on to the chakra signature of one of the people that knew the answers. Demonic mind steal no jutsu, he mumbled softly. Immediately half of his mind felt like it was floating. He figured this to be the tendril of chakra, and directed it to the person he had locked on to. As soon as the chakra tendril hit the man's head, he instantly froze and Naruto was hit by an onslaught of images and mental pressure. I'll help you out the first time, she offered, and immediately the pressure alleviated and Naruto clearly saw all the answers. He was quick to jot them down and release the connection, knowing that the Kyuubi was suffering with the mental pressure instead of him. Done, he announced and released the jutsu. Immediately afterwards his head collapsed on the desk and he was fast asleep. What the hell happened to the dobe? Wondered Sasuke as he saw his teammate fall asleep in the middle of the exam. He seemed to have written down all the answers before falling asleep though, Sasuke scowled. What was that jutsu he used? Niji was thinking along the same lines. He had had his Byakugan activated when Naruto did the jutsu and literally saw the red, mind you, chakra leak out from Naruto and hit another guy's head. That was one of the guys who has all the answers. Neji figured that Naruto must now have all the answers and concentrated on copying them. 20 minutes went by like a breeze. Most of the genin had already figured out that they needed to cheat and were doing so. Some successfully and others not so, as Naruto saw when a kunai was past him and into the test of the guy behind him. "Pay attention to that sand brat," yelled the Kyuubi. "What?" Naruto immediately looked in Gaara's direction and saw something amazing. Gaara had just created an eye out of pure sand. "He can actually see using his sand?" wondered Naruto. Kyuubi was laughing. "I was right, that's definitely Shikaku. What you're seeing right now is known as Shikaku's eye. It is one of the ways Shikaku has twisted his Doton supremacy." "So that boy also has Doton supremacy, like me," thought Naruto, getting slightly unnerved. "If he has awakened his second supremacy, I won't be able to beat him." "Unlikely, Shikaku was always stupid when it came to sharing or even teaching others about his powers," she explained calmly. "Most likely that boy uses his Doton supremacy passively. Meaning as much as Shikaku lets him, which I would guess to be just the control over sand. That boy probably has no idea what a supremacy is, much less possess any ability to counter your own, if the need should arise. But why would Shikaku do such a thing? It only makes him weaker in the end." "Yes, but there are probably complications that we don't know about yet," the fox paused. "Have him meet you in the next test." "What?" Naruto yelled inside his mind. "To what purpose? And how do you know that the next test is going to be open enough so that I could meet him in private?" "For the latter part, it's my instincts," growled Kyuubi. "I want to talk to Shikaku, as you may have guessed. He and I are long-standing enemies, so it would do well to show him that I have made my container stronger than his." She chuckled darkly. "First, seek to rile him up a little bit, maybe even make him scared of you. Then proceed to arrange the meeting. He'll be wary, but his curiosity will get the better of him, and he will come." "Okay, now we will begin the 10th question," announced Ibiki, ripping straight through Naruto and Kyuubi's conversation. "But before we get to it, I'd like to go over the additional rules for this question." "God damn it! This guy is so annoying with all his rules," Naruto scowled. "These are the rules of desperation," Ibiki announced in a dark tone. Naruto sighed. He knew this was just another way to instill even more fear into the already worried genin. "First, for the 10th question you must decide whether you will take it or not." "Of course I'll take it. What kind of stupid question is that?" Naruto scoffed. "Choose," questioned the blonde girl on the sand team. "What if we choose not to?" "Then, your points will be reduced to 0 and you'll fail along with your teammates." The girl was promptly shut up by that answer, probably because of her fear of Gaara. "And now for the second rule. If you choose to take it and then answer incorrectly, that person will lose the right to ever take the Chunin selection exam ever again." "What kind of stupid rule is that?" yelled Kiba. "There are guys here who have taken the exam before." "You guys were unlucky. This year it's my rules," he smirked. Naruto had had it with all of this bullshit. He yelled. "You may be able to get the consent of the Hokage to do that to the Leaf Genin, but I doubt any other hidden village will allow you to keep its genin from ever advancing." Ibiki turned to look at the boy who had so bravely chose to defy him. "He has a valid point, but I cannot allow this little one to keep me from weeding out the failures," thought Ibiki. "Unfortunately, the other Kages have already consented to this little rule." "I simply don't believe you," stated Naruto in a calmly voice. "There is no way you'll get me to quit with such a stupid lie." Ibiki frowned ever so slightly. The boy was really messing up his plans. "I will still give the more reasonable shinobi a way out. Those that aren't confident can choose not to take it and try again next year." The Jounin examiner glared at each of the genin with his killer intent activated. "So, those that do not wish to take it, raise your hand. Once your number is confirmed, leave." Even though Naruto's argument made sense, some people decided to trust the Jounin examiner's words more, and raised their hand. However, because of the boy's earlier comments, the number of people leaving was much smaller than Ibiki had anticipated. "Damn it, that kid made too many stay. Oh well." "Good decisions," he announced. "Now to everyone still remaining, I congratulate you on passing the first test." "What do you mean we already pass?" jumped Sakura. "What about the 10th question?" "There never was such a thing," explained the special Jounin. "Or you could say that that was the 10th question." "So then the previous 9 questions were pointless?" "No, they had already served their purpose, to test your individual information gathering skills," explained Ibiki. Naruto tuned out the rest of the questions and answers. He had already figured out what this Jounin's game was. Very smart actually. Eliminate the idiots and then eliminate the cowards, Naruto praised their Jounin examiner. Whoa! Naruto exclaimed when Ibiki showed them the top of his head. Burns, screw holes, scars, the after effects of torture. The QB snickered, obviously. He has only been tortured by humans. If it were demons, those marks would be the least horrible and they would be spread out to cover more than just the top of his head. Naruto shuddered at some of the images that flashed through the QB's mind. Don't worry, Naruto-kun, in time I will teach you all about torture and interrogation. Just then the window right next to Ibiki broke and a large black sphere sailed into the room. The sphere opened up, with 2 kunai being lodged into the ceiling, thus spreading out a black banner with white writing. A woman with short purple hair, a white coat, a mesh shirt and pants, and ANBU garb. You guys, this is no time for celebrating, she yelled. I am the examiner for the second test, Mitarashi Anko, now let's go. Follow me. Bad timing, Ibiki commented. Anko glanced around the room. 78? Ibiki, you left 26 teams? The test must have been way too easy this time. This time, there are a lot of outstanding ones, he said dryly. That's fine, I'll at least cut them in half in the second test, he said with a sly smirk. I'm getting excited, I'll explain everything once we've changed locations, follow me. Cut us in half. Sakura was shocked. All the genin got up and slowly started exiting the classroom. Naruto inconspicuously made his way towards Gaara, until he was basically rubbing shoulders with the Sannin. Naruto momentarily leaned closer to Gaara's ears and whispered, Shikaku, and then traversed through the crowd to his own team. Gaara froze as soon as he heard that name. How did that blonde kid know about it, he wondered. Gaara narrowed his eyes. Uzumaki Naruto, I hope to face you in the upcoming test. Temari and Kankuro seemed to notice Gaara's strange behavior, but didn't say anything while the said shinobi was within hearing distance. What's the deal between Gaara and that leaf Nin? Asked Kankuro. I don't know, replied Temari. But ever since we walked out of that room, Gaara's been eyeing him with great interest. I hope we meet that guy in the next exam, Kankuro rubbed his hands together. I still owe him a beating. Temari shook her head, that may not be a good idea. If Gaara is actually showing interest in the leaf Nin, then he must be strong. Strong enough to rival Gaara's power, Kankuro gulped. After walking through a quarter of the village, the genin finally arrived at their destination. Welcome to the stage for the second test, Practice Area 44, also known as the Forest of Death. Anko made sure to emphasize the location's nickname. Soon you'll find out why it's called the Forest of Death. Ha! You think that scares me? Laughed Naruto. The nickname is actually quite intriguing. Yeah, you're spirited, she said right before taking out her kunai and throwing it so that it would graze Naruto's cheek. But the blonde's reaction rate was just fast enough to lean his head out of the way and have the kunai miss him. However, Anko was already behind him. Kids like you are quickly killed, she said calmly. Anko quickly pulled out another kunai when she felt a presence behind her. Here's your kunai, said the person behind her and held it out on his extra long tongue. Thank you, but don't sneak up on me like that unless you want to die. No, it's just that you cut my precious hair, I couldn't help it, was the excuse. Looks like we have a lot of bloodthirsty ones in this test, it should be fun, she grinned. Now before we start the next test, you must sign these agreement forms, announced the examiner. There will be deaths in this one, and if I don't have you sign these, it will all be my responsibility. Deaths? Questioned Sakura with a horrified expression. Finally some real action, Naruto smirked darkly. The second test is a survival test. You will have to survive for 5 days inside the forest while trying to get a second scroll to complete your collection, Anko explained. Each team will be given either a heaven scroll or an earth scroll, and you will have to get the other one. Once you have both scrolls, just head to the tower in the middle of the forest. Now I'll talk about what will disqualify you. First, those that don't make it to the tower with both scrolls within the time limit. Second, those who lose a teammate or those who have a teammate killed. Third, you must not look inside the scroll until you make it to the tower. What if we do? There will be a surprise for those that disobey the rules, was the simple answer. Now go sign the forms and get your scroll. Your gate will be assigned to you. Go there and be ready to start. All the teams received their scrolls and were ready to head out towards the gates. Naruto again slipped his way towards the sand team and whispered into Gaara's ear, "Meet me in 1 hour, and come alone." With that he ran to catch up with his team. "Gaara, what did that boy say to you?" asked Temari. "Nothing," was the monotone response. "It had to be something," said Kankuro. "It doesn't matter, let's go to our gate." The gates opened almost as soon as the teams reached them, and the test had officially begun. Team 7 ran for about 10 minutes before stopping to come up with some sort of plan. "I'm getting nervous," said Sakura, when they heard a human scream. "This is nothing, Sakura," reassured Naruto. "I've got 20 minutes to meet up with Gaara." "I've got to take a piss," said Naruto and walked away. He quickly made a Kage Bunshin and leapt off to find the demon carrier. "Let's see, his gate number was pretty close to mine, that means he should be somewhere in this direction," mused Naruto. "I figure when I get close enough I'll feel him." Gaara's team had abruptly stopped when Gaara told them to halt. "What's going on, Gaara?" asked Kankuro in confusion. "You two will get another scroll and I'll meet up with you later," he announced and started walking away. "What the hell?" yelled Kankuro. "Where are you going?" asked Temari. "I need to do something," he said without turning around, and then jumped off into the trees. "It probably has something to do with the blonde leaf Nin," reasoned Temari. "You think we should follow him?" asked Kankuro. "No, Gaara can handle himself. Plus we need to get that scroll or he'll be angry." Kankuro shook at the thought of Gaara being angry. Gaara was drawn to a strong chakra signature that seemed to anger Shikaku, thus making his head hurt. He soon came to a small clearing, on the opposite side of which a blonde leaf Nin was leaning up against a tree. "I see you made it," Naruto commented. "Right on time too." "Who are you?" "You know who I am." "How do you know about the Shikaku?" asked Gaara slowly. "Kyubi told me," Naruto said calmly. Gaara's eyes widened and he clutched his head in pain. "So it is true then, Shikaku and Kyubi really do hate each other." Gaara's sand started to slowly gather around his arm, while another portion of the sand made its way toward the leaf Nin. "You the Kyubi, are you just like me?" Gaara struggled against his demon. "Yes, I am a container for a demon just like you," replied Naruto. "However, your demon is a lot weaker than mine." Naruto felt sand start to wrap around his legs, but he pretended not to notice. In truth, he didn't care. He would just activate his Doton supremacy and Gaara's attack would be rendered useless. "Mother asked for your blood," Gaara trailed off. And here I was thinking that Shikaku was male." The Kyubi was rolling in laughter. "The sand rat is so weak, he must manipulate his container by pretending to be his mother," the Kyubi managed to say through her laughter. Naruto couldn't help but snicker as well. Gaara raised his hand up as his sand had already covered Naruto up to chest. "What is so funny?" asked Gaara. "You are going to die." Naruto erupted into full-blown laughter at this point. Gaara's head only hurt more and more. The look on his face would make just about any human run away screaming. "It's over, Desert Coffin," said Gaara. However, he noticed that no matter how much he wished it, the sand didn't move to wrap itself completely around Naruto. "It doesn't matter," he mumbled. "Desert Graveyard," he said coldly as he closed his fists. Once again the sand did not move, instead it actually started to fall off of Naruto. "That's impossible," muttered Gaara. "Oh, it is very possible," corrected Naruto. "You see, Kyubi and Shikaku have one thing in common. They both have a Doton supremacy. Meaning that both you and I have complete control over that element. In effect, we cancel each other out in that aspect." Gaara was staring wide-eyed at the scene before him. Naruto was playing with his sand and Gaara could do naught to control it. How? What is this supremacy?" Naruto sighed and dropped the sand. "Obviously Shikaku has not taught you anything, and if you don't know what a supremacy is then you clearly don't possess it," responded Naruto. Gaara stared at the leaf shinobi. His demon had taught him, he wondered. "You see, to have supremacy over an element means that you control every single aspect of it. You can manipulate it as you see fit and no one, apart from another entity that has the same supremacy, can override your manipulations. From what the Kyubi tells me, you're only using Shikaku's passive automated defenses, but other than that the demon has given you nothing. While that does make you a strong shinobi, you are not in control, so in the long run, you will meet someone that is faster and or stronger than you, and you will lose." Now, of course, Naruto hadn't told Gaara the whole truth about the supremacies. After all, who would reveal the weaknesses of their technique to complete strangers and likely enemies? The blonde had carefully forgot to mention that even supremacies had their limitations. Even if he hadn't run into them, Naruto trusted Kyubi's word on this, and the fact that chakra still had to be applied to jutsu you wished to use. Having a certain supremacy didn't mean you could just do whatever to that element without any effort whatsoever. But such technicalities aren't worth mentioning when trying to scare your enemy. "Now I'm gonna go back to my team, and I suggest you do the same," announced Naruto. "Oh, and one last thing, don't cross my path in this test again," warned Naruto. "Or I'll kill you and your team." Naruto was leaping through the trees, trying to find his team once more, With a very annoyed expression on his face. Why the hell did my clone get eaten by a snake? Wondered Naruto. Out of everything that could happen, it had to be eaten by a snake. Naruto told the clone to Kage Bunshin himself until he tore the snake apart. Suddenly a chill went down his spine. In that instant he clearly heard someone telling him to get another scroll. Kyuubi, he wondered. But that didn't sound like her. Maybe it's my own instincts. But instincts aren't supposed to talk. Naruto then remembered the Kyuubi also lecturing on following his instincts. Trust your gut feeling, huh? Naruto quickly switched directions and doubled back to the Stonin team he has passed earlier. In the distance, a figure dressed in all white disintegrated into white mist particles and was blown away by the wind. Naruto landed deftly on the ground behind a tree on the edge of a clearing where the Stonin were resting. He did a few quick hand seals, activated his Doton supremacy, and placed his palms on the ground. He instantly felt all the ground beneath and around him. He also knew exactly where his prey was. Naruto made the ground under each of the stone shinobi to give way, and the stone shinobi, caught unawares, fell into a pit Naruto had prepared for them. The pit was lined with spikes made out of different rocks and minerals. As soon as the shinobi was mostly submerged in the pit, the spikes lengthened and struck the shinobi. 2 loud screams were heard as the stone shinobi died helplessly. However, the third managed a kawarimi and found out Naruto's position. He tried to do a Doton explosion right under Naruto, but found that nothing happened. Well, so you're the smart one in the group, commented Naruto. I'll admit it was rather boring killing those two like that. I hope you'll be more of an entertainment. Naruto attacked the Stonin with taijutsu only. His opponent managed to hold his own, but didn't realize that Naruto was just playing with him. When the two broke apart, the stone ninja was panting heavily, while Naruto hadn't even broken a sweat. The Stonin started to panic. With a shaky hand he reached into his pouch and pulled out a scroll. Here, take it, he begged. Just let me live. Not even spirited enough to avenge your teammates, frowned Naruto. Pathetic. Naruto jumped at his enemy at roughly twice his previous speed. The Stonin couldn't react in time and was punched hard in the stomach, then instantly kneed in the face, and finally was kicked in the throat. Naruto calmly took out a kunai and stabbed the man in the heart. The Stonin's body writhed for a few seconds, then all life left him. Stonin, Naruto laughed. No challenge whatsoever once you cancel out their ninjutsu abilities. He shook his head and headed out in the direction of Team 7. My clone was destroyed by that guy with the long tongue. Sasuke probably gave up our scroll. Naruto was quite happy that he had taken that detour and got another scroll. What an idiot that Uchiha is, giving away the scroll without even really fighting. Meanwhile, Sasuke was trying his best to defeat his opponent with everything he had, but it still wasn't good enough. Sasuke managed to wrap wire around and send a stream of fire through the wire. However, all that seemed to do was just melt the man's face off. The man laughed. To be able to use the Sharingan so well at this age, you truly are a man that carried the Uchiha blood. You really are brothers, though I sense power in your eyes that surpasses Itachi. Who the hell are you? Yelled Sasuke. His brother's name had always triggered a violent reaction. My name is Orochimaru, the man introduced himself. If you want to see me again, then survive and pass this exam. Orochimaru then did a special hand seal and his neck lengthened very quickly. Before the genin even realized it, Orochimaru bit Sasuke's neck. Sasuke-kun will seek me to seek power. Sasuke fell over in pain. What the hell did you do to Sasuke-kun? Screamed Sakura. I gave him a going-away present, said Orochimaru as he melted into the ground. Sasuke just kept screaming due to the horrible pain that the curse seal was inflicting on his body. He soon couldn't handle it and passed out. Sakura had assumed Naruto to be dead, and so just took Sasuke to the safest place she could find. She set up traps all around them, just in case, and waited for Sasuke to wake up. Sakura barely made it through the night without falling asleep. At daybreak, the sound team confronted her. Wake up, Sasuke, we want to fight him, requested the leader of the group. What are you talking about? Questioned Sakura. I know that someone named Orochimaru is pulling the strings from the shadows. What is his purpose? The sound team was clearly shocked. They had simply been ordered to kill Uchiha Sasuke, but did not know that Orochimaru would interfere and get to the Uchiha before them. That doesn't matter, said black-haired boy. I'll kill the girl and also kill this Sasuke guy. Wait, Saku, said the bandaged-up sound nin. Why should I, Dosu? Asked Saku. You're not very good, he told Sakura. A recently overturned stone, different colored dirt, and grass doesn't grow here. A booby trap is pointless unless it goes unnoticed. Sakura scowled. The sound team attacked, but a giant log suddenly appeared in their way when Sakura cut a string right behind her. However, the bandaged up Sound Nin activated the device on his right hand and the log shattered. The three sound shinobi continued towards Sakura. That is until someone yelled, "Leaf spinning wind!" and the three attackers were thrown back. Rock Lee appeared in front of Sakura and challenged the sound trio. That thick brow guy has some advanced taijutsu. This should be fun, thought the bandaged Sound Nin and ran right at Lee. Lee suddenly stuck his hand in the ground and pulled out one of the tree roots, using it as a shield against his attacker. There's some trick to your attacks, right? I've seen them before, so I'm not simply going to dodge, said Lee. But at 3 against 1, I'm gonna have to risk it. Time to protect a precious person. Lee undid the bandages around his arms and disappeared from right in front of the Sound Nin. He reappeared and kicked the Sound Nin in the chin, sending him flying, just like he had to Sasuke the day before. Lee jumped after Dosu and wrapped the bandages around him, keeping him from getting away. He then changed directions and plummeted with the Sound Nin straight down into the ground, while spinning at a large speed. Initial Lotus! Cried Lee, and smashed into the ground.